love it. I
or
love the
Thompson as per
energy.
usual.
For me
So
personally,
which one
if
of
I had
those
to
are we
think
gonna
back, probably
target? It's
around
going to be the Centaur for Tundra, and then the Clockwork, which actually is a support respect pick. Works really well with the Clockwork in the lane.
So we have seen Gaiman go for the Underlord versus the Wind Ranger, natural Crimson Buyer, also a hero that has built-in damage reduction in the aura. Once again, talking about the Revenant's Brooch, that seems like a decent counter. In terms of Blade Mail heroes that are Centaur-like, Centaur's probably the best counter in terms of that against Windrunner.
I mean, if you're expecting the Brooch from Wind Ranger, I think Kunkka is
I was
going to
say Kunkka is probably the Blade Mail type option that will also allow you to kite through the Whirlwind without just having to kite through it with damage reduction. Like the Revenant's Brooch doesn't do anything against the run buff.
Yep, Shadow Demon, Wind Ranger, I guess they probably don't really want the Wind Ranger to play into the SD Purge later down the road, so they're choosing to pick it up on their side. Not sure if you're going to be in the lane with the Wind Ranger. I think overall I still prefer a melee hero with the Wind Ranger, like something like a Train Protector. That would be great, but right now they just don't want the Wind Ranger, I guess, to run into the SD. And for Gladiators, they're going to have to figure out how to deal with this in the lane.
I just don't know what Ramses can play versus Lone Druid. Like, this hero has always been very strong in the laning stage. It's just we didn't see it picked very often because its mid-game was not good. But now that they introduced the new facet of bare necessities, here you get 3 items, and you become this mid-game powerhouse where he was kind of weak before and definitely
would
fell
you
off the
say
mid-game.
Darkseer making a copy of him could be an option?
That is interesting, but it's a really bad lane for Darkseer.
But don't you
Druid
just like
destroys
skip
it.
the lane and...
Maybe that's what you have to do. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. And Ramses Darkseer is not a hero he has picked at all this tournament. Doesn't really fit the archetype of what Tundra want to do as a team. So I'm just baffled that they gave away the Lone Druid. This hero just seems unsolvable right now. So, and I'm not currently seeing anything that Tundra is doing that is solving it right now. Like, you have Shadow Demon, doesn't really do a lot versus the hero, as he does have 2 units. Wind Ranger, maybe the Brooch will be a good option since you are very high armor.
Is it just the Doom again? You Doom the Lone Druid, he can't heal. He's very tanky, you have percentage-based damage.
Your guess is as good as mine, but clearly, and I hope for Tundra's sake, they have something very potent.
This is the buff. Marcy and Mirana, Solar Flare, and the rebound on the Lone Druid. This is looking really, really scary right now.
They really need something to kill the Lone Druid. I feel like Doom is the best, you click one guy, press R, and they die type hero, and everything is about this Lone Druid right now.
I mean, on the support side, do you think like a hero like Winter Wyvern could be a decent solution to LD? You have like some form of control, you have like a percentage-based damage.
And they actually picked the Mars into...
They don't care, right? They just want to get what they want.
I just don't see anything better that like has been proven, right? So they're just going to go with Ramses does best, just initiate in. None of these really look like good options against the Lone Druid.
I mean, it's still good with the Wind Ranger, right? We saw the combo. You trap him in, and he runs in, and hopefully you kill the Lone Druid before he kills you.
They need more damage, though, because right now it's currently only Wind Ranger doing the damage, and we've seen, especially in the last game, some games this Wind Ranger isn't enough damage. You need something else to supplement it.
Snap.
You can't just like assume that this Wind Ranger is going to be top net worth in the game and it's just going to kill everyone and all you have to do is disable. So yeah, Snap could work.
Snap Phoenix. Would you have preferred Phoenix percentage-based damage against Lone Druid?
Man, I really like the Kunkka here. I feel like if you can just... They go for the Underlord, okay. That's the other option. I mean, you have the damage reduction aura, you have a Crimson Buyer against the Windrunner. It's a Pipe Buyer as well against all of the overwhelming magic damage that comes from the Mars and the Snapfire. And it's just Ace's current preferred hero.
Yeah, probably his best hero right now. It's very good with the Mirana in the lane. You can set up the arrow. It's very good at protecting the Lone Druid in the game. And if SD is the position 5 here, I feel like Underlord should have like a pretty decent early game.
Now we're back to the mid laners. Very familiar with this last pick mid situation.
We think we're back to the mid laners.
That's true, but what is the flexibility on this one? I mean, Thompson could play Wind.
Wind mid, yeah. That's
But I'm telling you from a carry player like perspective here, there's 2 to 4 heroes that you can pick, and everything else just feels bad. And it feels like the mid lane, you have way more options. A lot of heroes can feel pretty good in the right situation. So as much as Thompson can play Wind Ranger, there's just no more carry heroes left unless you want to go with some DK or Alchemist last pick here.
I mean, they kind of need, like, well, for Gladiators, Initiator, like a Puck, Storm
Both.
type of hero.
both teams want Puck, I think. Yeah, Tundra's gonna ban it.
That was a good Rubik ban when under Lord. Thompson, he does enjoy the mid Rubik, so I think we saw a game the other day where Rubik's circles were much bigger than the Underlords.
So Quinn
I mean,
needs...
so it has to be like some Pango primal hero left, right?
Ooh, Pango.
I don't know. You mean for Quinn?
Yeah, I mean, Pango is pretty good into the arena.
Aren't you
pretty good in the Snapfire?
I mean, don't you just risk being dazzled? I feel like the Thompson loves these last pick scenarios when he's playing against
the lineup work for them though? If they're going to pick a Dazzle with a Wind Ranger and Mars, like, do they have like an overall good lineup, good enough lineup to win the game? It's good for the lane, but is it good for the game? You know?
Nice call.
I don't think he's gonna be too really worried about his lane matchup. I think he's thinking more of the game. You know, what is good for Tundra in the game.
I mean, it's interesting because they banned Storm and Puck on Tundra, which are two heroes that are good against the Pango, so Gaiman did a really good job reading these 4 bans and kind of using Tundra's bans against them here by picking out those Pango.
So it has to be like what, a primer as a response maybe? You counter the Pango in a way, and maybe you can kind of try to fight with your Mars and Wind Ranger, low tempo, low cooldown hero. You don't really need to wait around too much. I feel like they need to play fast. You know, they need to match this Gladiator's speed. They can't really like play too greedy here.
What about the Thompson Grimstroke mid?
You're gonna have to really sell me in the next
El
40 odd
Clasico.
seconds.
You press R on Pango and then he stops rolling. And it's also
How
very...
about Quap? Quap stops the roll kinda with the Sonic Wave.
Oh yeah, Quap dumpsters Pango in lane. Although, is that still true given how Pango now has the barrier and Quap is not really maxing dagger as much?
You could get a couple of points in dagger if you want to win the lane.
You can just go back to Viper if you want to. When in doubt, Viper it out. Oh, Bat Rider. Okay.
Okay, that is very interesting.
That leaves you options here, but he's just going to instant pick it. Okay, so Bat mid versus Pango. This is a matchup that I feel like Pango, if you just hold your spells correctly, shouldn't die. And you're going to have like a lot of stick charges based on how this hero functions. So the reposition ability is something I guess we could talk about. This lineup truly is all in on Tapura, I feel. He has to get farm this game.
Yeah.
He's got lots of repositioning tools with the Arena Spear, with the Lasso, and on top of that, like, he doesn't have any buffs either, so he has to just have a lot of net worth. He's doing pretty much all their damage past 30 minutes into this game, so he's going to have a really good laning stage. But I will give it to him. I definitely think Pure has been one of the best players at this tournament so far, really stepping up. He hasn't had a bad game yet, so I think believing in Pure is not a bad strategy.
But I believe in simplicity. Gaming has a very simple lineup to execute, and in a stressful moment like this, I think simplicity is the key.
So is comfort. I mean, people say Quinn does not lose on Pango. I still believe that. They got the Lone Druid. That's very overpowered as well. I think we're going to see a game 3 here.
Okay, I mean, we're all hoping so. You can already hear some of the cheers from the crowd. They would love a game number 3. But this Lone Druid, I've heard many times before just how imber it is. In fact, I've heard it from one specific person before. That's Moon, the coach of Tundra, who is joined with Tsunami down on stage.
Thank you very much. I am joined by Moon, coach of Tundra, where I hear a lot about your players. You know, Pure having a phenomenal tournament. Thompson, what more needs to be said? Ramses and Sox are returning to form. But I feel like Whitemon goes a little bit under the radar. You honed this man in North America on TSM. So why should all these people out here start celebrating Whitemon a little bit more?
He's like super humble, and he's the last man in Southeast Asia representing all the Asians.
He's carrying the torch not just for Indonesia, but that whole region. And now while we're building one of them up, maybe you have an opportunity to build someone down. Quinn Pango, you think that was going to be the last pick? Were you expecting it?
Of course, it's Quinn Pangolier, but Storm and Puck are meta right now. Pango, not really. This guy abused Pango for 2 years straight, and now he thinks he can just Pango like this? Nah.
Time's run out, apparently. Moon Meander, thank you very much. Let's see if you get the Game 2 win as we send it to our casters.
Will the Pango manage to get Gaming Gladiators into a third game, or will it be their downfall? They've relied on it in years past, Avery, but it's a different meta now.
The question, though, is Pango a real hero now, or is he still a fake hero? Because it might decide Quinn's fate at this TI. He has gone back to his roots, gone back to the comfort, the security, the nice warm embrace of a rolling thunder. But will it betray him in the end? That is the ultimate question. We'll find out in this game, too. It is an interesting one, because it's not a hero we've seen have a huge amount of success this event. But like Moon mentioned, when you get to those last bands, the Storm is out, the Puck is out, you have to pick blind against a potential last pick that you know Thompson is going to be like, I'm going to play every cheese under the sun. I dare you to pick some normal melee hero. It's a scary situation. And so they have to go to something that they feel like is just robust enough to work in almost any situation.
And what about that response to it? We saw the Batrider picked up. Is that a good enough answer to the Pango? I mean, we heard the panel suggest a lot of things. I mean, Jenkins is out here throwing out, mid-grim strokes. I think, there was a more reasonable suggestion, and maybe the Queen of Pain. Instead, we went the Batrider, a hero that has been on and off scenes in the last couple of months, but not super popular.
I have no doubt that Queen of Pain was suggested, and Thompson probably said, no. I saw someone else play that this event, so that's off the list. I think Bat is a hero that we've seen him go to as one of those melee mid-abusers. It's in that vein of like the Dazzle Vipers, right? But it does a bit more in terms of initiation power and just skirmishing around the map.
Yeah.
I've also seen this Batrider fall flat, like even in his hands. It's a very volatile hero. It can either be explosive, you get power runes, you're running around the map, you have a really fast tempo, and all of a sudden you're a force. It can also be kind of lackluster if the lane doesn't go your way, and then some of your spells just don't feel as strong as something like the Queen of Pain, like we saw yesterday in Nisha's hands, right? Just decimating an entire team fight. Batrider's like, I'm going to kill one guy, ruin his day, hope the rest of the team wins the fight.
Well, we'll see whether or not this Batrider is going to fall flat. One thing that we are pretty sure will not fall flat is old reliable for Tundra. They've got the side lane cores of Mars and Wind Ranger, heroes that we've seen again and again and again in this tournament and for this team. And in their hands, we'll see whether or not they're able to upset Gaming Gladiators. Gaming Gladiators have another very important hero that I want to talk about, though. The Lone Druid. They took it away from Pure, got it into their own hands. It fits into what Gaming Gladiators like to do as well with a lot of this 5-man push stuff that they're doing. Is this hero answered? I mean, it's a first pick for a reason, right? You've got so many heroes to be able to try and counter it. Did Tundra answer the Lone Druid?
I mean, we saw this Lone Druid as an answer to Mars in a lot of the games. And this was a first pick, so you kind of have to have faith that Lone Druid just powers through everything here. It has some good matchups in this game. I feel like it's not directly answered, but Tundra might be able to play around it by getting the jump, right? Batrider's a hero that can find him. You have long-range kisses that can come through. You have Mars that can kind of separate off the fight, and then Wind Ranger to deal the damage. I think their lineup can deal with it in its entire whole together, but there's no like real direct answers to this hero. I also posed the question of like after that series yesterday, does this hero have answers in the game, or is he just completely broken? Like some of those team fights that Pure was getting away with yesterday were just ridiculous. I'm not even sure if there aren't some things about this hero that are actually busted right now. Like, is he bugged? Yes. Is he working? I don't know. Some of those things just looked absurd. So I feel like this hero can power through anything, and on top of that, Gaiman put him with double damage buff in the Murano with the Solar Flare, plus the Marcy with the sidekick. So
oh yeah, that's a good point.
There's a lot of damage you can pump out with this Gaiman lineup. They feel a lot more stable than last game, and I think Tundra are going to have a tougher time breaking them apart. That said, they do have some of their signature supports for the tournament. A Wind Ranger for Pure that he has popped off on. And maybe a lot of it comes down to that Ramses Mars, right? He's now 7-1 on this hero. Just doesn't lose. Pure will snag the first blood. Big win for him.
Yeah, Gaming Gladiators, before the runes actually spawn, they are off to a good start with Quinn being able to get a D-ward on mid. So he gets that extra bit of golden experience. But the side lanes maybe falling apart a little bit there as they gave up first blood for the kill on Tofu. Still, though, Saksa also dies in the off lane, leaving Ramses alone for a minute.
Sure, Daracho would love to have had that first blood gold himself on this hero, considering what this hero can do with a good start. You just run away with the game, right? Yeah. And he's looking to free farm this lane. Marcy can set up some kills as well if you get some lucky roots. But I will ask, Austin, should you have given Ramses this Mars this deep in the event when he is not losing with this hero, when it feels like the comfort pick for Tundra at this point? I mean, somewhere, Collapse is watching the series going, why didn't I just get Magnus every game?
Seriously. I definitely think it's a potential mistake here for Gaming Gladiators. I wouldn't be giving Mars to these guys just because, as you said, it does feel like they are so comfortable on it, and on this main stage with all the nerves that are going to be going around, it feels like comfort has to be king. Thompson is comfortable on any weird hero, and he's going to be rocking the Batrider here, which has not gone very well for him at this initial part of the laning phase. He is 7-1 compared to 13-4 for Quinn Spangolier.
And we see, like, he's just going to take a water rune. That bottle's coming out now. It's been a slow start for him on that mid lane. Quinn definitely getting the upper hand, but of course this matchup comes down to, can the Batrider just randomly get a solo kill at some point? Do you rotate into that mid lane, get a clutch pickoff? And most importantly for this matchup is probably the power runes. Like, the 6 and 8 minute power rune can decide a lot in terms of what this Batrider can ramp into. Or does he play a slower game, just getting jungle stacks up and using the Firefly to accelerate his farm?
You can see very clear every single time Quinn comes in, has no sticky napalm stacks on him, and has shield crash ready to go. He can get aggressive on Thompson, but a couple of stacks up and Quinn has to retreat. Whitemon in some trouble here as the Blood Grenade should spell his doom. Gaming Gladiators not only get that kill, but also protect the Lotus, preventing the Tundra team from being able to make it up. And Ramsey's also in trouble. Both side lanes suffering there as they try and go for Lotuses. Gaming Gladiators quick to be able to punish that positioning.
Nice side lane gameplay here. Gaimin want a fast start. I don't think they want to end up in a position like they did last time where they picked some of these lane dominators like that Viper and it just fell flat. Thompson gets his recovery time and you don't get the snowball action you're looking for. This is a much more solid start for them across all 3 lanes. Pure with that first blood gold is happy, but these supports on the side of Tundra are suffering. Not having that early snowball effect like we saw to the Enchantress last time where Whitemon was just straight up winning 2 lanes. This is going to be a bit of a slower game for them. These are tough heroes to roam into to kind of skew it back in your favor. Like, you're looking at the cores in this game, a lot of them are just extremely tanky in the early game. Yeah. The bracers are already up for Ace. He is cruising. Quick disruption on him.
See what they can do with that one. A lot of stacks there. 5 Shadow Poison stacks. That's going to do some hefty damage. That's going to get the kill.
Okay, even with the double bracer plus the stick charges, cannot live through that amount of stacking. Whitemon finds his mark again.
I mean, just too much magic damage. Whenever you have a Shadow Demon, right, you just really don't run out of damage. Just a question whether or not you could keep the hero there long enough.
I mean, that's the best timing, the level 3. With the level 2 poison, that's your kind of one window to bring these big guys down on the lane, snag that big kill.
Thompson, every single time we look at him in this mid lane lately, he has not much HP to work with. He got down to about below 100 from the last shield crash swashbuckle combination Quinn threw at him.
Quinn's definitely ahead on XP here. And Thompson, he's double stacking the jungle. That's going to be the recovery and the acceleration here for the Batrider. If that gets stolen, though, that's a huge deal. Quinn's scouting it. So he knows these stacks are being created. Awkward situation for Thompson. Like, do you call in support help here? You're not level 6. Look at a courier, but it does deliver the items.
All because that Marcy passive, the courier has the extra HP to be able to survive delivering the items to Quinn in time.
Almost level 6 on this Pango with the rotation.
He goes through the gate, shows up here in the top lane. It's a disruption, trying to lead into the spear, but Celery interrupts it, grabs Ramses, pops away. Can he make it out? The cookie lands onto him, shutting up for a second. Pure keeps the chase down. They manage to get that kill, but TP's coming in from Quinn. Oh, nice spear. Ramses stops the Rolling Thunder. Quinn still pops it though, hoping to catch up to these heroes, but yeah, by the time he gets there, they're already back to the safety of the tier 1 tower. Quinn, even daring into the tower a little bit if they were just a little bit closer maybe.
Yeah, that was very close to Whitemon finding the disruption. Then you can just throw all the nukes at him. He might die there. Ramsey's still getting rooted. I mean, this lane has been a struggle for him.
It is annoying. Pure is still around though. Hit him with the cookie, but it put Pure close to the tower. Seller tries to punish him by tossing him into the tower range, but of course the wind run deals with that pretty easily.
This is a 2v4 up here.
Yeah, what is going on up here?
And Tundra are not winning it. Just an empty lane bottom for Ace. 2-on-1 mid as
Look at it, they're trying to head him off to prevent him from going through the gates. They're saying
so
if you want to
awkward.
get back to the safe lane, you're going to have to use your TP.
And Quinn is still eyeing these stacks.
But they're going to go for Dyrachyo again, trying so aggressively to chase out these heroes. Celery tries to stop Pure from closing the distance, hits a two-man stun, but none of it's good enough. Not against the overwhelming numbers they're bringing to this. 3 heroes. Pure just keeps sticking around. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tofu, who was not going up to that top lane, said, you guys have the 2v4. We're going to take this 2v2 in mid as they take some of the stack away from that Batrider, trying to keep Thompson down.
Very interesting commitment from Tundra, just kind of getting stuck in that awkward situation. Top Pure.
Can the pin into the arrow land? Not quite. And Celery is unable to get a follow-up stun either. Pure waving goodbye to Gaming Gladiators as they fumble that game.
Wisdom Rune gets claimed by Whitemon, but man, Saksa, this might be the lowest level I've seen him in a lot of these games. He's still level 3 on this snap after Wisdom Runes. He's gonna have to find some team fighting somewhere in this game.
Yeah.
And if you're gaming, I mean, you would love to take advantage of this right now.
Especially since you know Thompson, well, they may not know, but Thompson's just trying to max out his basic abilities here to increase his farm rate. No lasso, he's just gonna try and get to his first initial set of items, looking treads. This is gonna be a fast rush Blink Dagger kind of game.
Maybe. We'll see how much he wants to scale versus make stuff happen around the map. We could see an argument either way, especially with the start Pure has had on this Wind Ranger. He's still very farmed despite all these rotations top. Looking for Dyrachyo again. Look at the ult, but...
Yeah, that was a nice poke from Tundra, right? Disruption, show a hero, Dyrachyo immediately pops his ultimate. There really was no way they were going to get that kill.
They've been really obnoxious in this top lane. I don't know how much damage it's done, but it's been annoying. Now you have this gate up on Ace, though.
Yeah,
so you have to worry about the dives.
And Dyrachyo's also saying, like, all right, I'm tired of this nonsense. You keep on coming to my lane. I'm going to go to your lane. And I'm not going to try and get a hero kill. I'm just going to take your tower.
Double Demolish will get the job done. Might just go back through as well and defend, keep farming top.
Yeah.
Tundra lose the first tower here. Open up a lot more space for Ace. And ideally you want to start using this Rolling Thunder. Get Quinn involved, look for the team fights. Tundra don't have great answers to the spell in this game. No real BKB piercing ability. Like, you're looking for the lasso on the Pango or letting Batrider start the fights on your terms. But if Quinn just gets to roll into you, it's going to be deadly. Dyrachyo will make the rotation back top. He does not have True Form up for 30 seconds here. Getting hounded.
And Whitemon, he doesn't want to go into that pit for the danger of a bear popping out. This time they'll let the pit arrow, chaining the stuns quite a bit, but it's good enough. A level 2 win run certainly isn't going to last long enough to get him out from 3 heroes. 4-4 now. Gaming Gladiators with 1K lead.
It's a big find for Gaming. They find the enemy carry, protect their own. Dyrachyo's not getting ganked right now. As Thompson, he's been lingering up here for a while. They really want another kill on this Lone Druid in the laning phase. Have Arena, you have Lasso. Well, theoretically you have Lasso, he's 4-0-4.
Support duo Gaming Gladiators continue to find victims in the Radiant jungle, it seems. Oh no, he's not going to be able to get the vision of him. He misses the kill, and now one leap is only going to take you so far. Pure with the Whirlwind will get some vengeance for that death. They're still going to be able to get on top of those. Celery pulls it back into Ace. Pure wind run coming up in a second. Too late. Quinn, what a move from Ace, using the gate to pull in Quinn. Quinn thinking about going back through, but he sees that Saksa and Thompson are waiting on the other side.
Ramsey's stuck in no man land, did not respect the roll potential, and just gets caught out on that ward. 2 big core deaths for Tundra on this bottom lane with a nice gate from Ace. And again, Thompson, he's 0-0-0 at this 11 minute mark. Just can't find his point in this game to make his presence felt. Does have the lasso online now. He'll just take the tower. I mean, Arsonist going to work here.
Yeah, you take towers really quickly, especially if you go kind of a stat build on Batrider, and he is going that. No fast Blink Dagger to try and set the pace for the rest of his team. Instead, it looks like he wants to just farm up and get a Hurricane Pike.
He just wants to scale in this game. Yeah. This hero can do an absurd amount of single target damage later on, which is kind of the idea here, particularly if you can find the Lone Druid. This is a slower build-up, however. Ramsey's going to force the fight.
Ramsey's put up on the high ground. That's a little awkward for him. Struggles to get down there to put some more damage. Looks like they have caught Celery, though. No, Celery gets the hop away. No other stunts, it seems, from Tundra. Is everybody? Now, Celery gets caught in the river still. And they look for even more. Tofu will get away from Thompson in time. Same goes to the Underlord, away from Pure.
Man, if you have support ults there on the side of Tundra, that is a way easier exchange with Kisses and Demonic Purge coming through. Another fight as well that Thompson doesn't get to be part of. His game flow's been a little awkward, but he will continue to find the farm. And both carries are just going to go back to their sides of the map, try and get into these Maelstroms. Blink is online for Quinn, so that's the first big kind of initiation item in this game.
An opposite approach by him, right? Like, he's trying to hit in early timing, picking up this early Blink Dagger. If he doesn't get anything done with it, he's going to feel pretty bad in comparison to what Thompson's pulling out of the jungle right now.
Yep, so they're going to instantly smoke him and instantly gets broken.
Oh, running into Saksa like that on the high ground, too. No vision. They don't know if there's a real threat up there, so they can't even chase him. Meanwhile, Thompson, a hard camp and an ancient stack.
He's just farming. Getting the power runes, getting to his items. Deep Ward does come out off that smoke, so they will find Saksa anyway.
Trying to get a cookie down, but he gets pulled away from the ledge, preventing him tumbling down below. 6-7 now.
This Pango's strong on the map with the two supports behind him. It's not a hero Tundra interact well with. They'll claim another tier 1 for their efforts. Both side lanes continuing to be farmed up between this Lone Druid and Underlord. And I mean, we have not talked about Ace a lot this game, but he is jacked on this Underlord, man. He is going to have a very fast aura of his choice on top of this mech. Looks like Pipe will be the decision here. Mitigate a lot of the teamfight presence from these two supports. By the way, Saksa still not level 6 on this Snapfire.
They are missing so much damage because of that. Just needs just a little bit more experience to get him there. And now they don't have the kisses to call it quite yet. And as a result, they need more damage. Maybe Darachu can live through this. Now the kisses come in still though. Rams are going to die for it, and so does Pure. So maybe they've killed the enemy carry, but they've lost their own and their offlaner as a result. With Quinn hitting the back line as well, it's going to be more. Disruption goes out, but he's surrounded. He comes back out. Too many heroes to survive. 4 dead. You got the enemy carry, but was it worth it, Tundra?
Not at all. That is a steep price to pay. And it's a fight again without the Batrider, who's supposed to be kind of your early team fight skirmisher, giving you the spell damage, giving you the extra kill ability. Gaiman, they just have a lot of early sustain. This Underlord is incredibly strong gating into a fight like that. You're just going to be stuck in the pit Firestorm. You have Solar Flare running the whole time. The Pangolier Rolling Thunder's uncontested. There's a lot of turnaround potential in this game and lineup if you make a move like that and it doesn't work out cleanly or quickly.
Yeah, cleanly and quickly was a big problem there, right? With no kisses immediately on the arena. Couldn't get that fast kill on the Lone Druid. Now things are just very awkward for Tundra. And it looks like Gaming Gladiators, maybe a mirror of Game 1 with better success, as they are just picking up pace and they have an aura hero behind them.
Looking for another big core pickoff. Ramsey's 200 gold off his Blink Dagger. Does not want to die right now.
Hit coming through. Quinn tries to chase after him. Doesn't hit the slow from the shield crash. Celery diving into a tier 2 like that. I guess it's tanky enough. Thanks to the Pavis, he'll be able to shrug off some of the damage from the tier 2. But no luck on
Quinn.
finding a kill, but maybe Quinn
Thompson.
can find it somewhere else. Thompson, he tried to put himself up on this trunk area and TP out, but Quinn landed right on top of him, stopping that TP. So the best Thompson can do, try and get this kill on Celery. They actually need the extra help as Thompson's kind of tanky, so they bring in Ace. Ace will help deliver the kill, and back he goes through the gate.
Did pick up the shard here, just wants to output as much single target damage as he can on this bat, and that was his amp damage rune. Couldn't find anything with it as the gank comes to him first. Gaming controlling the side lanes, controlling the map right now. They still have ancient stacks as well. Daracio is going to eat through, or they're eating through him.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And finally, that blink will arrive for Ramses. This has been a very different Mars game for him. Much more difficult one. He has not been the initiator we're used to seeing. And even with this blink, it's defensive positioning from Tundra here. They will smoke him out. So they want Daracio right now. They would love to be able to jump in.
Daracio's sitting on no HP, showing on the mid wave.
Oh, he's going for the shield. I mean, he's dead here,
Oh
right?
my god, he is so dead, Daracio! He put way too much reliance on his ultimate to give him the HP he needs. Dies before it even comes into contact.
maybe not aware this is the one part of the map where Tundra do have wards. They're both in that mid lane. The rest of the map controlled by the Dire Vision right now. Yeah, he's going to circle it out. He's like, they saw me, guys, but I mean...
Maybe it would have been better to just die to the Ancients.
It's true.
Instead, that kill goes to Tundra and really helps bring down that net worth lead that Gaming Gladiators was beginning to build up still, though. It does feel like Tundra... Are we going to be playing for like another triple BKB timing again, or is this a different tempo that's going to be set by Tundra?
I think you want triple BKB at some point. I think the Bats is going to be the latest here, but the other two are going to come out pretty fast. Wind Ranger already halfway there. Mars basically halfway there. Going to be an obnoxious item for Gaimin. They don't have a lot that goes through it. It's kind of like the same problem Tundra have with Rolling Thunder. Gaimin are going to have it with these BKBs. Just a question of how strong Ace is on this Underlord. Like, can he just be the bulwark in the fight that lets you push through those early timings? 9 seconds can be a long time, but if you have something like Pipe and Greaves to match that, you just sustain through it, and it doesn't matter. This Underlord is king of the map right now. However, you do have to worry a bit for Dyrachyo here. Like, that was his 3rd death on this Lone Druid. Generally, this is a hero you don't want to exceed, 1 or 2 deaths in that early game. Really slows you down. He is falling behind a bit.
Yeah, I mean, considering the lead that Gaming Gladiators has had, the fact that he is 900 behind this Wind Ranger is very concerning.
I mean, Pure also has 3 deaths, but he found a bit more off the rotations, and he shut down the Bear in the laning phase.
Is there something to be said for the fact that, like, with this Whirlwind facet, right? Like, he is splitting damage between all of the units that are in these fights, all these heroes that are in this fight. And Lone Druid operates with 2 units. That actually is going to significantly reduce the damage, particularly if you're including some auras from this Underlord, right?
That's nice. You get some extra neutral items on top of it that give you some extra HP or armor or whatever. Yeah, it's a big damage zone. I mean, that's the biggest thing that we saw about Lone Druid yesterday when Pure was playing it.
Yeah.
Is it caused a lot of teams issues in terms of you pump all this damage into the Lone Druid. If he doesn't die, that just wins you the fight on itself. You win by sheer fact of you dealt 10,000 damage, and it all went into this hero, and he doesn't care.
Is there a danger of Tundra running out of damage with this lineup?
That's a big question mark that maybe falls on this guy right here. Like, how much does this Bat Rider do in the ultra late?
Yeah, right? Is this shard right-click build actually going to do something for us, or?
I mean, what does it even look like? There used to be like Mask of Madness Bat Rider builds and stuff like this. Like, are you going to get a Gleipnir of your own? Or are you just scaling into Hurricane Pike, BKB, Moon Shard? I don't know. It's very weird territory. You might end up with an Ags at some point. You might want to go back for a Blink so you can try and find this Lone Druid at the start. Used to be like an Orchid or Witchblade build-up on this hero that we could see him go into. There's a lot of single target damage options on the Bat Rider, but a lot of it's finding your big target in the fight and bringing him down first. And, that's dependent on vision, dependent on initiation, where your wards are. A lot of factors Thompson has to consider here. And, of course, Solar Flare's on the other side, so Gaimin are not going to lack the overall team fight damage.
True.
I mean, Marcy plus Mirana, you can't really ask for more damage buffs here.
That is true. I mean, both of these heroes have shown that, yeah, they're giving damage to their allies, but also, like, going later into the game, Mirana and Marcy are, I think, my #1 and #2 when it comes to supports turning into cores. Like, heroes that are just able to do damage and kill heroes by themselves. And we've seen, particularly from the Mirana in this tournament, maybe less so from the Marcy. Whitemon going to be jumped underneath the tier 2 as we get back into play. Gaming Gladiators wasting no time to find kills.
And Gaming are itemizing for this kind of right-click buildup, right? Drum on the Mirana, Solar Crest on Celery. You're going to have a Vlad's at some point in this lineup, probably guaranteed. You're going to have the auras on the
They're still going to go for him. Dyrachyo knows about this. He's baiting it out right now. He got off his ultimate. Can they catch anything for this one? Ramsey's going to go for the TP away. TP away. Close call, but he barely made it.
That is close. And Dyrachyo will be the one dewarding here. He's like, I'm sick of getting jumped around this mid lane. Still a ward for Tundra in the back, but it's going to expire soon. Quinn wants to catch Thompson again. Does have a shield in here.
Do not let these heroes manage to cut waves. Quinn, make sure to get the punish on him. They did manage to get a root, trying to prevent him from getting up the cliff and dodging some of this damage. Gaming Gladiators again, and back through. Ace needs some help, and he's going to get the full squad as reinforcements. Whitemon caught from behind.
These gates have been so efficient for Gaimin, just finding action on both ends. And all Pure can do is try and push out the waves and farm to his BKB. Not ready to take this fight head on. And look at this 18-minute potential high ground push here.
We've seen this before. We've seen this before at a TI for Gaming Gladiators. A pre-20-minute high ground push.
This is their bread and butter.
They tried it last game, but they were pushing into an Aegis, and they kind of missed their window. This time around, it feels like there's a much larger timing for them to do this, and even if it fails, I don't feel like their lineup's going to fall off nearly as quickly.
Nope. They get Tundra back a bit, get an ult out of Soxa, get half of a tier 3. Glyph is down. Very happy with that exchange. They're going to get the power rune for Quinn. A lot of these power runes have been going to Thompson. Finally, this Pango will snag one. It's a good one in this Arcane. And now the pressure's on Tundra to try and reclaim some of the map or make a move. You're still looking towards these BKBs. You're closing in on Pures. In fact, it's done flying out on the Courier. Ramsey's, it's a far ways off here. Just going to roll on him.
See if they can chain stun him in between the mid arches. They've got him dead to rights. Ramses is out, and now Quinn's just gonna look for a little bit more here, see if there's anybody else from Tundra lurking around. And it's Thompson, but he is quite fast.
Can run away. You can do that, but at some point you're gonna have to fight in this game because the push is coming. The Gleipnir's done for Dyrachyo. This Ags is flying out for the Pangolier. And you have Ace with the auras to back all this up. So another tier 2 will fall. That Arcane Rune Rolling Thunder also means it's going to be up again in less than 30 seconds here. Could easily make another play. Or just go straight into this tier 2 bottom. No Glyph available.
Yeah, this bear, it's going to take this tier 3 so quickly. Here comes the gate on through. They tried to go for Dyrachyo, but he got off his ultimate. He has a way more HP. Do they have the damage to bring down this Lone Druid? To hop in for the Pangolier. They've diced up Soxa, and it looks like this Lone Druid is dead. Can they do the damage from Gaming Gladiators anyway? What a beautiful spear back from Ramses. Managed to put somebody else isolated. It's the Marcy that goes down. Ace is on the run. He's low. Gaming Gladiators from the high ground, and they may pay the price for it. Though a Rolling Thunder catches Ramses, they try to push forward for the tanky off laner. Now he's in some trouble. Poison after poison, though, is coming in. Quinn, he missed the swashbuckle, fails to get the kill on Ramses, and here comes Thompson. He's got damage. Quinn had TP away, denied by Ramses. He said, were you looking for me? I was on the high ground, and now I'm on the low ground, taking your life.
Huge team fight win for Tundra. Exactly what they needed in this game. A high ground hold that goes wrong for Gaimin as they didn't have an Aegis on that push, and it showed this Lone Druid. He's killable. He dies in the center of everything. Tundra are close to losing heroes of their own. But Thompson, he's able to skirt around the edge of this fight, come back in a second time, make his presence felt in this game. Now all of a sudden, you have the most farmed hero in this Wind Ranger. It's a big death for Dyrachyo. It's easily a fight that if Gaimin win, you're just taking racks, maybe multiple, maybe on your way to closing out this game.
They really trusted the fact that Dyrachyo was going to be tanky enough to be able to push through that, especially with Yoris behind it. But Dyrachyo is not able to make this Lone Druid look like Pure's Lone Druid did, where it gets jumped on and it managed to survive with a quarter HP time and time again. Maybe some of this is just the impact of the supports. I mean, that Shadow Demon did so much damage. Whitemon was able to do a lot there onto the Lone Druid, stacking up 5 stacks of poison easily in the early part of the team fight.
Plus super clutch disruption on Pure to save him at the end.
Yeah.
And then Ramsey's able to come in a second time. Just the kiting. Perfect there from Tundra. Exactly what you want to do with this kind of lineup. Go in, take some damage on one hero, get out, use a disruption, come back in a second time.
Tundra take the time to do the Tormentor. They get a shard for Soxa.
Downside here for Tundra is even though you won that fight, I don't think you're contesting this Roshan. This one just seems too tough to get to, and in that kind of area, these auras are still going to go to work. We saw how long Ace survived in that fight.
Yeah.
He's just giving you the auras the whole time. The Atrophy, the Greaves, the Pipe, going into this Crimson. You put an Aegis on Dyrachyo, pump a Crimson behind this. This is the big power spike for game in this game. This is going to be the hurdle to get over if you are Tundra right now. You need to farm as much as you can during this time period. Get those BKBs up and be ready for that exchange.
Yeah, speaking on that, it looks like a BKB is being built by this Lone Druid. Do you wait for that? Or is it too much of a threat, what Tundra have coming down the line?
I mean, they didn't give the Aegis to Dyrachyo. They gave it to Quinn.
I guess he's going to have to wait for the BKB then.
You don't go high ground without this Lone Druid BKB now. And I think you really want to fight and find the pickoffs before you do anyway. BKB done for Ramses. He was able to get there off that team fight win.
What's the point of giving Quinn the Aegis over the Lone Druid? Does that say they're just not going to push at all?
I mean, he can go in hyper aggressive now. He can try and jump on the Bat Rider, not fear getting lassoed and burst down. We saw how fast he died when he got speared.
He spotted Pure, and Quinn is able to follow it up. That got a BKB out of Pure, not the way he wanted to use his second duration.
You can't land the arrow. There's not a lot of follow-up.
No.
You also have Disruption that can bail Pure out of a chain stun situation, let him win run BKB out of that. So you do have to be careful on these committals if you're gaming. Another reason to give this Pango Aegis, he can go in, look for that chain stun, you get some spells or BKB out of the Wind Ranger, and all of a sudden your Pango's still safe. And BKB done for the Lone Druid, so Duracho, he's online right now, level 15 as well. Looking for that last tier 2. Tundra, I mean, you have two options, right? You can take the high ground defense fight. You can also try and smoke and wrap on Gaimin and try and find that backline with your Mars jump plus your Bat Rider going in. It's one way to play around this Aegis if Gaimin commit to the push.
Yeah, it feels like a hard decision to make just because of the fact you're playing high ground with a Bat Rider. Usually you want to take advantage of that high ground area with that lasso pullback, but
I mean, he doesn't have Blink is the thing.
Yeah,
so
it's a very different Bat Rider than most we've seen through Dota history. This one's a damage Bat Rider.
He's very tanky as well.
Yeah.
If he finds his target, like, Thompson will bring him down, especially with the support follow-up. You just have to get in there. And a lot is dependent on the arena to set that up. Gaimin will swarm the map with another smoke. Just cross the lanes here, looking for a straggler bottom. There is Ramses, but no BKB Pierce means he can always just BKB TP out.
Yep.
And Tundra, they're poking into their own jungle, feeling like Gaimin are split on the map. They're right about that.
They certainly are. Celery, shackle shotted. Ace is going to come in as well as Quinn to try and bail him out. Celery's still in trouble though, being chased by the Pure Whirlwind. Got all of these heroes inside the arena. Ramsey's coming in from behind. Hits a really nice one. Trying to finish off Celery. Still got the other support instead. Ramsey's not going to get it right now. Celery's actually bodying them. And Pure, he can't chase after it either. In fact, he's in trouble right now. He needs to get out. Thompson, though, he did the damage to bring down the Aegis Pangolier. Pure, deep out on the map. He doesn't have a TP scroll. He's going to have to go through the gate. Game the Gladiators do not seem to know where he's at, so it looks like Pure is away and clear.
A sick arena by Ramses, but the fight was super split, and the rest of Tundra could not get through that Pango Lone Druid front line. So he'll trade out some heroes, get an Aegis down, maybe stall out this push that could have come if Gaimin successfully cleared through that fight. And I cannot believe Celery lived through all of that. He was the first target. Shows the strength of the auras here, mitigating a lot of the Wind Ranger's damage. And I mean, this Marcy has 3,000 HP. No joke right now.
That's a support for you in 2024.
Oh yeah.
Thompson's damage is building up, though. He showed it by being able to kill that Pangolier. If you guys haven't seen this right-click Bat Rider, it does some big work, but it has a very high ceiling and a very low floor. So it's either going to be Flopson or Godson here in this Game 2 of Tundra versus Gaimin Gladiators. And right now, they're looking at a 7K net worth lead for Gaimin. They've lost that Aegis, though, so maybe they feel like they can't push high ground. It already got rebuked the first time around. Maybe they're more comfortable just waiting for more items and more Aegises.
This is the part of the game where Gaimin, you either feel comfortable with your scale or you don't. And if you don't, you really need to be finding more on the map, increasing this net worth lead and going to that next Roshan. Or you're just confident in the Solar Flare Marcy going to boost this triple core lineup into that late game. Thompson would love a couple more fights where he can just find that Pangolier, drag him to his doom. He's kind of the ideal scenario. Very close to BKB as well, which will just kind of guarantee that play.
Yeah, he'll always just be able to run straight at the Pango, even if he's rolling Thundered, right? That's going to be his best target.
Cleared up. Poke here.
Whoa! Celery hopping way past there. I think he was looking for the Shadow Demon. Instead, they're going to have to try and kill Thompson as the disruption's down. But the last one pull the bear back out. Now they're in trouble inside of this arena. The Bat Rider has been saved, and he can reset. Window still looking for it. With the rolling Thunder, maybe Thompson did back out in time. Thought he could turn back around, did not respect the push coming in from Gaimin Gladiators.
Gaimin, they still have a lot of sustain here.
Nice tank there from Ramses, making sure that Pure is not going to be threatened by Erodivatos and Arrow. Now he's being threatened by a pit. Has to use the BKB, chases after that. The Whirlwind doesn't have the arena to keep heroes inside this time around. They're going for the bear, and they might just be able to get away. The bear comes out, stop the kisses. The Spark chases after him. Duracho this, trying to go after Pure with a win run. No, it's going to run out. He gets taken out. Quinn finds his man. Buybacks being used by Tundra, but all of a sudden a 7,000 net worth lead has doubled to 15K, and the assault from Gaming Gladiators will be halted for now. But you have to feel like another round is coming in soon.
I mean, the first punch was landed. Triple buyback from Tundra here just decimated their economy. They absolutely need to win this next team fight. This game might just end. And Gaimin are not going to relent. They're not going to give up the pressure right now. 20 seconds, no mid-ranger. You have to assume there's no buyback here anyway.
And they're looking the Underlord hit the tower because look at all that bonus damage he has right now.
Plus 200 atrophy aura. Winding down a bit. But of course, you have damage buffs coming up. 30 seconds for the Solar Flare. All the auras are back up for Ace.
Pure is just about to come back up. They need to try and punish Gaming Gladiators while he's coming back up. The arrow just landed on two. Bat Rider trying to get him a cooking way. Gaming Gladiators chase and disruption. Still going after the Bat Rider while Quinn is disrupting all of these supports. Good hits all around from the Rolling Thunder while Celery and Durachi are doing some damage. Celery won't stop until he's dead, which now he is. Now the rest of the team without their big Marcy carry apparently are going to make a run for it. Durachi has used BKB. Is it flee or fight? Fight and Pure, a fight that he can't win apparently. A triple kill for Duraccio. Thompson's next one left. There's only 2 members of Tundra still alive, and now make it 1. Gaming Gladiators own the Tundra base.
Absolutely rolling over them in the second half of this fight. Pure did not even get his BKB off, just got roared into oblivion. And the buyback from Celery. This beast of a 5 is back.
Leapfrogging over another one. Celery goes for it. Hitmophany fights the last kill of Gaming Gladiators. Tundra. They've lost their heroes. They've lost their base. And perhaps saving the best for last, the final day of TI. We'll finally get to see a Game 3 on the main stage as Gaming Gladiators, this time around, their push works around a lone druid.
The timing's just worked out way better here. This Pangolier controlled a lot of the map, controlled the fight. Thompson just felt muted in that game. This bat did not come online fast enough. The early laning prowess from Quinn really shut him down in that one-on-one, and Gaimin are able to find their mark with, like you said, a lone druid that has just been absolutely unstoppable on this main stage. If you're not picking this hero or banning it away from your opponent, it feels like you're doing something wrong, because nobody has had answers. That game, they even found Duraccio a couple times around that mid lane.
Yeah, you said this is a hero you don't want to have die a few times, and it did.
It just doesn't matter. The hero soaks too much damage in the fight. He's too good at using the damage buffs, the auras, the Roshans, the early pushes. You're just not ready for the bear, and he comes, takes a base, and like you said, we're going to get a Game 3 for the first time in this event on the main stage.
We've had some great games here at TI, but these series, for whatever reason, just could not go to Game 3 until the lower bracket finals. See what the panel has to say as we finally get what we've all wanted.
It's been a long time coming, but a game number 3. We're finally treated to it. And let's break down everything that happened for that game number 2 to cause this. I mean, first of all, the laning phase. Quinn doing much better this time round. Of course, in game 1, he was on that up, but taking out the Enchantress, not having the same impact on Whitemon for that mid lane, gave them that advantage. Quinn Pango, I mean, it's come back around 2024.
Yeah, everything comes full circle, I guess, but I do believe that matchup isn't supposed to be that hard for the Pangolier, and Quinn really showed it as well. Like, you do have the swashbuckle that can get you out of danger. Now that they've changed the shield crash as well, you can do a lot of trading with the Bat Rider as well. Thompson, I think he misclicked his Firefly early on in that laning stage as well, which hurt him in his mana pool department. So all that really just adds up, and he looked really, really comfortable on the Pangolier. But I definitely have to go back to the elephant in the room here. You let Lone Druid through, and your answer was Shadow Demon Mars? Like, those heroes don't do anything to Lone Druid here. So I think Tundra, they're going back into the green room there, and they're really discussing the key problems of what happened in this game, and it's definitely the Lone Druid.
I do want to shout out the Gaming Gladiators Ace Underlord. I said it when we were watching the game. This guy is straight up the best Underlord on the planet. The next person is not even close, honestly. The way that he uses the portals allows Gaimin to play so incredibly fast in these games where they do have an advantage, especially when they do have a tower pushing hero and those auras. Like, at one point he used the portal to bring Quinn to him for a gank, and then it turned out to be required. Like, they were not going to get that kill without Quinn. I feel like he's just very, very creative. Like, every single one of these fights that we're seeing, there's a portal spawning in the most obnoxious place, cutting off somebody's team from them, you know? It's truly something to behold. He makes a very boring hero not boring.
Impactful, I guess, is one way to word that there. But there was just so much more going on. I mean, this lone druid, it was called out a couple times. The Marcy support as well, coming out on Celery. When you think of Marcy support, most of the time you think of Jinkyu, what he's been able to do in previous series and previous tournaments, and you farm and you build into more of a core role or a pseudo core winter. But here, Celery was doing so much on that Marcy for his team. Great reposition in pretty much every team fight.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is his lane with the Lone Druid. I think Marcin, you kind of need to be enabled in the lane, and Lone Druid is probably one of the better ones. You can jump on the bear, you can toss people back, so it's very easy for Lone Druid to kill heroes in the lane. We saw them kill off the Snapfire very early on in the lane, so I think these are the kind of things that kind of enable the hero, and after the early game you need to farm and become a secondary or tertiary core in the game, and he did a really, really good job. He was really tanky. He was a very good frontline hero. He initiated and he buffed his teammates and he kept everyone alive.
Well, there we go. The scoreboard at the end of game number 2. And your eyes do not deceive you. It is a Gaming Gladiators victory, giving us a game number 3. We thought that the Snapfire might have been that little bit of extra damage for Tundra that could have helped them, because you really were head scratching around. Right now it's just Wind Ranger that's going to be putting out the damage, and it's exactly how you guys predicted. It just wasn't enough. And then on top of that, even with the Snapfire ulting, it still wasn't enough here. Maybe a little bit in the middle part of the game, but late game you could definitely see those issues.
That's pretty much what I expected. I didn't think that Snapfire would solve their issues. It is good damage, but you have to chew through way too much HP with this Lone Druid hero. Another reason why this hero is so popular right now is when you kill the bear, it doesn't really matter as much anymore because all the items are on the hero. They're more effective on the hero. You press your ultimate, you have to chew through a bunch of HP. He's life-stealing on top of it. This Marcy is also helping him life-steal through it. And you don't have a way. The Doom is really good, right? Maybe in AA, these heroes aren't what you really want to pick in this meta. So it's going to be a little more difficult going to this game 3. I think the Lone Druid was an experiment. They thought they could take it down. They couldn't. More than anything than Lone Druid and all these other heroes I'm talking about, I think it's priority. First pick seems to be winning almost every single game in the last few days here. It might just come down to like a coin flip here on this game number 3 here, but if you're that second pick, you really have to come up with something here because first pick seems almost unstoppable.
I do want to point out that kill participation from Celery was insane, by the way. 96% kill participation on Marcy, a hero that's not really that fast. It's not some Nature's Prophet or Zeus that's getting like that global impact, but he was there for every single fight. And this is a new hero for him in this tournament at the very least. Like this guy, his hero pool is fantastic. That throw onto the high ground in the mid lane where he threw Ramses and he completely disrupted that fight. It looked like this is the only hero that he's been playing for the whole tournament.
Yeah, like that's something that he's been spamming, and maybe he has been, just not in competitive, maybe in scrims, maybe in his pubs as well. But with a kill participation like that, let's have a listen in and see exactly who's doing the shot calls and how Gaming Gladiators were able to win some of these team fights.
I kind of have to gate with Ace. But careful top, I thought.
Getting into him.
I use ulti.
I can make you.
We hit really hard, guys.
Winners are not dead yet.
I got him.
I'm on the back line.
Yeah. Got the back line.
SD's dead. Kill snap.
Okay, that's good.
That TP bottom.
Open this tower, wisdom room. Don't.
There were long moments of silence in that.
Very calm.
Every other team we've listened into, even if it is calm, there's still constant communication, there's still a lot of talking, but it feels like they don't need that in the same way for gaming.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes too much might not be good, Like,
that's true.
You just need to say what you need to say, everything is clear, and it's very easy for people to follow up, If too many people is talking during the fight, then it can be a very bit difficult for the players to follow.
Alrighty. We got some more information coming our way. Not only are we gifted with that listening, but we're also gifted with the knowledge of Purge.
Thank you, Nat. Yeah, amazing game, number 2. Very, very close one, and I liked what Tundra did to try to deal with the lone druid. They basically rotated their carry and their support to the safe lane at a mere 5 minutes. The downside is that killing these heroes is really difficult because lone druid is by far the tankiest hero on the map, and even after the first one didn't succeed, they tried again. Pure stayed, landing more power shots, dealing more damage, again getting Dyrachyo low but not quite killing him. And then he stayed another 20 seconds to, again, a third time go on this 1200 HP hero at the 6-minute mark. This time they actually were successful limiting Dyrachyo's farm a little bit, which is a good thing for them. And then they rotated back towards the safe lane because Pure has to finally catch up a little bit, even though his net worth is high. But crucially, this ward here ended up being a really big deal because what it did is it allowed Gaming Gladiators to dictate the next couple of minutes of the game, and they used it basically to get multiple kills. Pure at nighttime can't see much at all, ends up getting spotted as he runs through the jungle, and this gives them an easy kill setup. And watch this other crucial moment. Pure here is going to think that the ward's actually on this cliff instead, similar to when he died. So as a result of that, he fed his team bad information that kind of led to bad engagements. Check this out. Whitemon ends up going through the jungle, almost gets arrow killed, ends up getting ran under tower, doesn't quite die, but it starts this team fight chain of events. Pure does end up killing the Mirana, but he's going to end up getting punished for it. The nice Fiend's Gate is going to bring the Pango over, and as they're about to retreat, this ward is still here on the cliff, and as a result, now they get to go on Ramses. So they get this extra kill off of it. And then on top of that, what it just cascades into is an Underlord being extremely far ahead. He didn't get touched this entire period of time, so all the sacrificing that Tundra did to try to shut down Dyrachyo just gave Ace an incredible game. And unfortunately, the one other hero that wasn't in these team fights was Batrider until now. He spent a lot of time farming and his impact was not enough despite being AFK on the map. So that is how Gladiators got ahead, and once they had that aura advantage on Ace, they ran with it.
Thank you so much, Purge. I mean, the crowd loves him there. I always admire the knowledge and the deep dive that he's able to give us there. Vision has always been a priority within Dota, and I feel like Tundra has been one of those teams that has been very on top of it. Gaming Gladiators as well, though, Winter, you've had some stats in the past of how, even though they have one of the shortest game averages, they still have one of the highest dewarding and observer ward plans.
Yeah, they're really good at finding their opponents' wards, and they are placing their wards in positions where it's very difficult for the opponents to figure out as well. You know, like playing fast definitely has a lot of to do with it, because when you're playing fast, you're attacking into your enemy territory, and it's very hard for them to come in and deward. Maybe they know the wards there, but they can't really afford to spend time to find it because they're on the defensive. And it's really important that when you're attacking, you need to have good vision.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they move into so many areas when they're like sweeping across the map with these auras that they kind of have to bring a ton of sentries and dewarder, because otherwise you're fighting into opposing vision. But I also think what they're very good at is holding an area once they do have vision down. We saw it there. There was the bait on the ward where it looked like Quinn was going to portal out, but then they just stayed and then baited on top of that ward. The good teams are very good at doing that, deciding to just linger around for 10, 15 more seconds and see if something presents itself on one of these wards. And Ramses, he did give it to him in that game.
Yeah. And I think in the second half of that presentation as well, which was interesting to see, was they brought 4 heroes to stop the lone druid. That was like their strategy. And Pure, he stayed up there for like 2 minutes, like trying to punish this lone druid. And if you have to do that, that is an overcommitment. Now all of a sudden this Underlord is just free farming for 2 minutes. He's catching up in the laning stage, and he becomes a problem in this game. So their idea was to try and shut down lone druid, but if you have to bring 4 heroes to shut down 1 hero, that's a problem. There's something wrong with that hero, and it needs to go.
The cost is too high to solve it.
Definitely.
Have people just forgotten how hard Ace has been able to carry games in the past? Like, what is going on? How can you be so tunnel vision to be like, lone druid, you got to focus him, and then Ace is just running around doing whatever he wants? I mean, this team has thrived on that so many times before, Jenkins.
Yeah, it is funny how, okay, that's a very good argument for banning out the lone druid, if this is how many people you need to solve it, because I do feel like in the past where we have seen Gaming Gladiators struggle is when people go on Ace, when they like 3 to 4 man this hero. But the thing is, this has also been something like we saw 33 get left alone the other day as well, and he 1v5'd the game on Sand King. So it just seems like it's kind of a trend right now to play in the safe lane, which gives the offlaner some free farm, and then you see these offlaners having some crazy performances.
I feel like this is all because of the pick order. If you're second pick, you kind of have very little control, less control compared to the team on the first pick, and you kind of need to pick which one you have to go against, right? And they have unfortunately chosen to go against Lone Druid. It didn't work out. I think that because they're already 1-0 ahead, I feel like it was worth the risk, for them to try that. And right now they just need to figure out if they're going to have to ban it or they have to let something else through.
Do you feel it's also a bit of a double-edged sword where, your opponent's getting that first pick, so they get to have their choice of whatever Imber hero is still left in the pool. And then on the other side of it is, even though you're getting overall last pick when you're second pick, the pool is just so small of what feels impactful at this moment that you do have to think outside of the box, and you're looking towards a Batrider mid overall last pick.
Yeah, because they didn't really have a lot of flexibility in their last couple of picks. And I also feel like drafting has overall changed a lot. I think in the past, you have a much easier time being on the second phase team, and you can find a really good solution for your 24th pick. But nowadays, I think teams are just really good at covering their bases. They're very good at using the second phase bans to ban out whatever is really good with their drafting setup. And even if you have the 24th pick, if you don't really have a very good gacha pick in the last phase, so what's the point of having the 24th pick?
May I propose a solution here?
Please, Fear, I would love to hear.
Okay, so
Is it Grimstroke mid?
it's absolutely not anything to do with mid laners. So moving on from that, I think what you can do when first pick is always OP is you can do something called leaving heroes in the pool. So you can make a trade. And I feel like that's something that has not been happening. I feel like you ban all these OP heroes, you leave one through because you can't ban them all, but you're only leaving one through. What if you don't ban all the OP heroes and you leave like 2 or 3 in the pool? That way you can actually make a trade here. And I feel like second pick has really been struggling because, the hero that we have eyes on is either Sand King, the Lone Druid. They're just winning every game. You're trying to adapt to these OP heroes, but you just can't. So maybe making a trade is something you can consider.
That is definitely something these players have thought about while they were backstage in their warm-up rooms preparing for our very first game number 3 on the main stage here at TI 13. I want to use a very slight example while we let the players sit down in their chairs and get ready in the lobby. In that previous series here, you're almost saying maybe don't ban the Naga and the Sand King on the side of Tundra. So it's those plus the Lone Druid that's left in the pool. And now you're bound to get at least something that is going to give you
Sniper though.
Sniper,
like,
okay.
We talk about briefly if you're gonna leave Sniper, and it was Sniper and Lone Druid, right? Because Sniper would be good against Lone Druid. That's like one of the few things that you could do.
I see.
I think Sand King maybe not. I feel like Sand King is like too difficult to deal with. It's very similar to Lone Druid. You need too many things to deal with it, and it's not gonna worth it in the draft. You have to do. It's just too stressful. You have to beat him in the lane. You have to steal his stacks, and in the team fight, he's just such a big problem.
Yeah, I definitely think you have to leave some Sand King, Lone Druid, Sniper trade, because I don't think you can ban them all. It just is not possible. You don't have enough bans. And those are not even like all the heroes you have to consider. We still have the Invokers that we saw. Enchantress is doing really well. Tusk looks unstoppable. So there's just a lot of heroes, and I didn't even mention Naga, right? So there's a lot of heroes right now that are good, but those seem like the meta 3 for how the tournament is progressing right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Sniper. I think that if you're Tundra, Sniper in general seems theoretically good against Lone Druid. It does enough damage to whittle away at his 4,000 HP, and Lone Druid's going to have to go for the what the hell's the item? One you forgot last time.
Harpoon.
The Harpoon, of course. Nobody goes for
Everyone
that.
forgets that one.
They only go for it on Lone Druid against a Sniper. But if you have Thompson on your team, I feel like he's also going to make it work. Like, he is one of the few snipers that plays with the Aghanim Shard. He gets an early grenade, and he does cool stuff with the concussive grenade. So because you have Thompson, and because theoretically it should be good anyway, that's definitely enough to warrant potentially letting the Lone Druid through.
You don't see maybe a weak spot in the Sniper. Everyone says, like, this is why we looked at Sniper potentially pose 4 for so long in this tournament, is his early game damage is extremely high, right? We know he does very well in that laning, but coming out of it as a core, I feel you want to farm a little bit more. Not sure if you can be that active mid laner supports love to work with, and maybe that's something the opponents are able to capitalize on, and then all of a sudden, the Lone Druid isn't really being looked at.
Yeah, I don't really think you can deal with it very much, just because Tundra is a team that has Ramses as their active player. So typically Thompson doesn't have to be active at all on this team, so he can play that. And the same reason why Sniper looks good is the same reason why Lone Druid looks good. You can't beat this guy in lane. You can think as much as you want at what theoretically might counter these heroes in the laning stage. It just doesn't work. They're always going to have a good laning stage, and they're always going to propel to some item timing where they feel like they're very difficult to play against. And I'll still always remember that Aurora game where they triple countered the Sniper,
and it
still didn't work. So I just don't believe in countering some of these heroes if they can get off to a good laning stage. And I have not been proven yet that you can counter these heroes on lane.
I want to put a small caveat to that Sniper game. He did have a Pugna with him on the side of Sniper that for so many fights was just this battery. Just gave him extra health to be able to stand there and not have to worry too much about what he's positioning.
Yeah, even the Decrepify was a lot because there was physical damage required to kill the Sniper. There was a Lycan, there's a Spectre. Sure, there's a little bit of magic damage, but it's mostly physical, so it was enough.
Absolute cinema. That man loves his Twitch emotes. I don't even know how he knows that he's on camera, by the way. Or do you reckon he does that every time, hoping?
He's just doing that once every, like, 15 seconds.
He's actually doing it right now. It's
pretty
just
sure
not on
camera
camera.
man comes by and pans every shot.
Yeah,
Whether you're live or not, you don't really know, right? So just got to do it.
You just got to pull.
Yeah, YOLO, go for it.
He's in good spirits for sure, getting to play Pango on the main stage.
Yeah, not
So
only that, but getting to win it, getting to be the first team to put an end, even if just for one game, towards Tundra's lower bracket run that has been so dominant so far. And on top of that, our first ever game number 3. I feel like we haven't talked about it so much, how these teams normally aren't able to have that stability in their emotions to be okay with being one game down. And on the side of Gaming Gladiators, it wasn't chaotic. They still had structure towards their team fights, and they were very aware of what all their timings were for, and it didn't feel like a team that was literally on the brink of elimination.
Yeah, I think they got everything they wanted in the draft, which definitely helps when you get into your comfort zone. Like when you're in an elimination situation, guess what? You get Ace on his Underlord, all of a sudden you feel at home there. Quinn, Pango, they all went in their element, and I feel like it doesn't hurt rather, that they outdrafted them pretty heavily too in that game. So yeah, everything worked out, and now all of a sudden you're in this game 3 situation. Both teams are feeling it, and this is when the best Dota's played.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will be a very competitive game 3 because Tundra also, they let the Lone Druid through. They tried something, it didn't work. I think they can kind of go back to the drawing board on that one. They still had a decent performance. They picked Mars into Lone Druid, which is specifically what people bait. Like you want the Lone Druid versus Mars lane. It's one of the hardest matchups in the game, and still Ramses look pretty good.
I mean, it also says how much they really want the Mars, right? So it's just probably easier for them to just make sure that he doesn't have to deal with Lone Druid.
Yep. I think both sides, we're going to see a lot of comfort picks coming out.
I will say, yeah, that Mars, he kind of just did what he's been doing every other time he's gotten Mars. You get Blink Dagger and you just initiate for your team. That's all that matters, He's able to get some good arenas up for himself. We'll see if he's able to do it for game number 3, if he's even going to get his hands on this Mars, because it brings me so much pleasure to tell everyone watching at home and in the arena, we got a game number 3 draft.
Gaming Gladiators versus Tundra Esports. Game 3.
What heroes are these teams gonna let through? Do you widen that hero pool? You allow as many different meta and OP heroes through as you possibly can. We'll see. What we do know is that Tundra has that first pick, and I have no doubt in my mind they want the Lone Druid for themselves. Which they're not gonna get. Gaming Gladiators deny that.
Sand King, though.
Yeah, you're right. Sand King's there.
They're going to take it for sure.
And with the flex that they've shown that they're more than capable of doing, it is even more likely that they're going to take this first pick.
What's the trade, though? Like, what are you going to trade for this Sand King? Is it the Inch? That hero? Yeah, I suppose. But the thing is, Sand King's pretty good against the Inch.
I mean, I do feel like it's still more about the early game. I think if you can get a lot of value of the early game with the Eng pick. Sure, later in the game, you're definitely not so good against Sand King, but it would still be...
Oh, bringing out the big guns right away.
Right away.
They're answering offlaner with offlaner. This is a hero that will buy the pipe for you right away, which is nice against the Sand King. This is something that is absolutely comfort to gaming gladiators. I don't actually mind this opening too much. Like, I think Gramsci's will pick this hero, like, this is mine. We saw Thompson play it last game. They do have the flex potential, but this is 100% just going to be Ace's hero no matter what.
I think this makes sense as well. There is no way Tundra, after that last game, was going to let it through the second phase of bans.
But if you're Tundra, you're probably happier with this because it's still like a flexible hero for you with the Sand King. And you can now think of heroes that you can use to maybe abuse the Underlord in the lane. Like Monkey.
Do those exist anymore? Because I feel like people don't care anymore. Like these Monkey King. Like, Monkey King doesn't even really win these lanes anymore just because they nerfed the Jingo at level 1. It's really bad. So it takes a while for you to get level 3, and if you pair it with any ranged position 4 that can just do harassment damage, you can lose this lane very easily. Same with these Ursa type heroes, these Slark heroes. Like, you just typically don't want these heroes in general. And I feel like Monkey King as a carry, it doesn't win. Like, we've seen it lose time and time again here. I'm going to die on the hill of the carry pool is very, very tiny right now.
Well, it wouldn't be a tournament if Fear wasn't willing to die on a hill about a certain hero.
There's always a hill to die on for Fear. Do you guys think that with the Underlord being first phase, that means Gaiman has to consider the Rubik? Or
yeah, for sure. Like, they have to think about banning the Rubik. Even on a support position, Rubik is just too difficult for Underlord to play into.
Just pick it up yourself.
Yeah, they could do that. I mean, we talked about the counters to Underlord and lane, and the way to counter those counters is...
Wait, that man's opening a Crimson! No, go back to him! Go back to the audience! I want to know what he got! Oh, now we'll never know.
Well, they got the Ench anyway. That's what we thought they would first pick. This hero's just looked really good throughout the tournament. The overprotective Wisp facet has looked very nice, very tanky. And then once you transition, basically the early game plays out like this. You just run in there, win your lanes, you're very tanky in the early mid game, then the late game hits, you're just a turret. Like, it just transitions from a tank into a backline damage dealer, and it does a lot of damage in lane.
Yeah. The nice thing for Gaiman's draft is they always like to have these two aura buyers, you know, the drums, the crimson, the pipe, and so forth. They have them already, so the rest of the draft can be simply responses to Tundra's heroes in terms of one-to-one counters, and then also heroes that just give them a better game in the mid game. Like right now, they lack a little bit of team fight. Is Tusk still in the pool?
Oh yeah, he's opening it. All right, what does he want?
Oh
What's he gonna get?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. Oh, that's too bad.
I feel more bad for his teammates because he's gonna be spamming Meepo now in his pubs just to show off that Crimson.
Miserable.
I'm glad we got to witness that.
Yeah,
any other Crimson witness openers in the crowd?
Well, we
Anyone
need
else?
Steam Deck users first.
I wonder why I'm getting so many emails from Jenkins, you know. I just wonder why.
You mean you don't have 12 Crimson witnesses?
I can send you some if you want. Okay, so they take the Tusk on Tundra. I think that makes sense. Anytime you see the Ench come out, the best pairing in Dota for it right now seems to be the Tusk. Like, these two heroes are just so incredible at diving towers, and I think they make up for the things that the other ones lack. Decent amount of wave push. Like I said, the tower dive, Ench can run in and heal, so they take this out. Tundra has two melee heroes. I'm expecting a ranged hero to probably come out here. Ranged support, maybe. SD?
Potentially. So far, this draft has been really... It's been blow for blow, I want to say. It's been very even, which I think is really good. The last two drafts, I looked at them, I was like, wow, this team's getting out-drafted already. So far, I do feel it's super even. But the Shadow Demon, that might sway me a little bit, because the last two games, this Shadow Demon has not looked good. I don't see the appeal against the Underlord whatsoever.
I'm going to need someone to get me back on the bandwagon of Shadow Demon, okay? I understand...
Fell off?
Yeah, a little bit, because for so long in the early phases of the road to the International, it was a first phase ban. Now it's sort of trickled through, it's not the same.
Okay, it's very good with Sand King, because I think Underlord, you kind of want the offlaner, like, to be able to clear the stack. Sorry, not Underlord, Shadow Demon. You want to be stacking early game.
Okay.
I'm not really that big of a fan of SD being on the 5, because it's more difficult to abuse that. Yeah, and now we are going to see an Elk I think against Sand King, it's important to have a hero that can kind of outpace and maybe steal some of the
Yeah,
stacks
you can
from
run in and steal stacks. I mean, we saw...
Interrupt you real quick. Sorry, there's only one carry left in Luna. Carry on.
Fair enough. We saw Duraccio do the tech of disassembling his Radiance as well whenever he got imprisoned.
Yeah, we saw that. We definitely saw that.
So it's, you know, you think the SD is a counter because you get the Radiance, but not with this new tech that Duraccio has discovered.
And just purge the guy. Don't disrupt him.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, then they need a hero to actually kill the Alchemist. And that's the Doom.
Good one. So we're going to have to see something new from Pure, most likely. Because I don't think the Luna's going to make it through. They made a choice, like, what's best for the game, and most definitely Doom versus Alchemist is a no-brainer. You're playing versus, like, the Greaves on the side of Gaiman, and then, of course, the Chemical Rage gives you regen as well. Doom shuts down all of that. Even the Wisp as well from the IO, so it's a really, really, really good Doom pick. But they made a sacrifice to the point where this Alchemist, it's pretty contested between these two teams. The Lone Druid's out, the Wind Ranger's out. So what's left?
Okay,
Weaver?
I'm gonna make my 1 in 100 call here, which is gonna be wrong. What if this is a pure Doom carry, and then they just go for the Mars again? He plays Doom carry. Sand King mid.
10 years ago.
You have to respond to that, or is that you're just? I thought you were just throwing it out there, and we'll see.
I think he does want a response. I think he does want a response.
Just call me an idiot. Get it over with.
No, it could work. It definitely could work. I don't know if it's the best option. We'll see. Because like I mentioned before, the Luna's gone now, so your options for carry are going to be very low, and maybe it is better to pick a S-tier offlaner as your carry than pick a D-tier carry as your carry. You might be onto something there.
I mean, there's not those great carries that we've normally seen picked up that you're talking about, with the Luna being the last one banned out there, but there's still carries that Pure has done amazing on, and why aren't you really looking towards those? Like, he's had amazing performances on the Morphling before. Is there just something about the Gateman lineup that really dissuades that?
Slow though, it's slow.
That's what I was thinking.
They need
You
like
think the pacing is just too
no
fat?
budget for Morphling, unfortunately.
No budget, I see. Now I understand.
They do have budget for Doom carry.
I mean, they might have to go over budget for this game because it doesn't look like there's many things left. Because you typically don't want to pick these DKs and those type of heroes against the Underlord, right? Gives them a free lane. Underlord is also good versus Morph in the lane, so that's a rough one too. I'm very curious as to what he's going to think about, because you don't last pick carry for a reason in this patch, because there's not many good carries in this patch. But he's on last pick situation. There's been like 5 to 6 carries banned out, and you're laning versus Underlord, who's pretty much an anti-carry for a lot of them as well. I would like to see an old hero like Watson was pulling out, like an Underlord that's really strong in the lane. Like TA could be okay. I don't know, it's tough.
Luckily, we're not going to have to wait too long. The reserve time is getting low, less than 10 seconds at the moment. They're going to just have to lock in whatever they're hovering.
They
1 in 100
are not sure.
Well,
oh, wow.
Talked about that hero from the very first pick of the Underlord. In theory, it's good. I like it. It should be okay in the lane just because Bat is a little bit of a weaker hero against Slark. You can right-click him down. I'm just not sure who's going to be pairing with the Slark. Is it going to be the SD or the Tusk? I kind of want to see the Tusk and just go for them all in action, just try to get him down.
The bigger question is does this fit the budget, Winter?
Yes, because he's going to run around the map after just one item, and he's going to be pressuring, and he's going to be looking at contesting the stacks from Elk. I think Slug against Elk is always a matchup where if you can survive the early stages, Slug is just going to be very good against Elk. Like all these tanky heroes, they can regen, and Slug likes to keep getting stacks out of the Elk. Very good against the Bat, decent in the lane against Underlord.
Yeah. I mean, hypothetically, he should be able to survive the early stages because he counters both the Underlord and the Bat in lane. This makes me think maybe Gaiman, but they just want to run Bat mid against
I thought about that. And I also thought about Leshrac potentially for Quinn. Very good versus Slark.
Not so good against a Doom though.
But it kind of like forces you to like not to the Alk, I guess. But yeah, they're gonna go a different direction here in the community.
This hero is, I think, pretty good against the Slug. Slug is very vulnerable to burst in the early game. And I think Queen is an excellent hero to respond to the Slug's aggression when he's coming into the jungle, because I feel like at some point they're going to need to defend their stacks or go to the Sand King stacks and try to steal it. I think Queen is one of the best heroes to be able to do that. This is a very good pick in my opinion.
I mean, anything that has like ground targeted AoE damage and burst is really good against Slark. You can just die in the ult. Also, when you purge the Queen of Pain dagger and she has Ags, you get immediately screamed. Like a lot of the time, that plus the ult plus another scream is enough to kill this hero when he's trying to do the thing where he baits and he gets low and then ults. Like this is a pretty good matchup for Queen.
I mean, I love both these drafts. I feel like this is the most even draft we've seen almost all of the main stage here.
Okay.
And it's for game number 3, so I'm expecting an incredibly exciting series. It really is going to come down to who plays this one best, because both drafts look really good.
Okay, so it's going to be who woke up this morning eager to make it to the grand finals, who woke up and having that slight mechanical skill diff on their side. I do not normally like to ask you guys for predictions, but I'm going to have to do it. It's our first game 3, and the winner is going through to the grand finals to face up against Team Liquid. So starting down with you, Jenkins.
I refuse.
Nope, you have to.
I defer.
Go Whitemon.
Gaming Gladiators is taking this all the way.
Game Gladiators all the way. Let's see how many people might be on your side in the arena. I mean, Winter, you've taken the side of SEA. Whitemon, you think Tundra are going to make it to the grand finals and win a game 3?
I mean, Sand King, you don't go up against Sand King.
That's true. We've only really seen Sand King fall in 2 games before Fear, but you're going to be the decider for the panel as to what we predict.
Okay, well, I'm a carry player myself, and I feel like Pure has really been showing up so far at this event. He picked a hero that isn't easy to play, but can have massive impact, so I think Tundra's going to take this on the back of Pure Slark.
Wow, okay, so you think it's going to be the Pure Slug. We've got a lot of people in the crowd also along the lines with you guys. I guess majority of rules, we do have to go here for Tundra, but we've also got to head down to one more person, and that's Slacks.
That's right, my friends. Finally, we have found 2 teams that will take us to a game 3. Finally, we've got 2 teams that will give us a show. That is what I'm talking about now. Gentlemen, words between both of you, 2 very incredible coaches who have had a very long journey. I want to give you a moment to have a final word between each other. Congratulations. It is up to you. What would you like to say to your opponent?
Thank you for giving me Sand King again.
Okay. Any response to that?
I think the game will speak for itself.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. I know you guys are good friends, so a handshake if you could, and before we get into the match, and any words out there for the fans watching.
Let's hope we gotta do this because when we lost the other day, Thompson's daughter was crying, so we gotta win this one so Thompson's daughter won't cry.
Any final words out there to the fans in the arena watching here today?
Thank you everyone for coming out and watching us go to the finals. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good, shake your hands one more time. You guys are nasty. That's what I like to see. Let's get that show on the road, ladies and gentlemen, over to our casters.
And thank you to those 2 men and the teams that gave us a Game 3 here in the lower bracket finals. Welcome, everybody, to Gaming Gladiators versus Tundra, Game 3, and we're already going to start off with a bit of action. Both the teams poking at each other as Gaming Gladiators had put their faith in one hero, Tundra another. For Tundra, it's the King. And for Gaming Gladiators, the Queen. Sand King versus Queen of Pain mid. With the side lanes, just action all over the place. Both these teams fighting for bounties, fighting for position on the lanes already.
Another explosive mid matchup, and not one I think Thompson's going to get cheesed out of as much in that first game. And we saw him come back from that. So this is a terrifying hero to give away to Tundra on this player right now. He's absolutely feeling it, looking to repeat that Game 1 performance. And of course, the Queen of Pain, an historic hero for the NA server, as I'm sure he has killed many in MMR. Can't even say that. On the flip side, this Slark making an appearance here in the clutch in a Game 3 where you need to go to the grand finals. You go to Slark. Such a bold pick. A hero that in theory absolutely owns this game, but you have to be able to get there. And there's a lot of theory because there's a reason we don't see this hero often, right? A very volatile hero. He can crush a team fight. He can do nothing. It's all about building up the
First
stats.
Blood's available. Self-disruption with Pure coming back in. Now Pure tries to get some stacks, but the damage coming out from Tofu and Ace is too much for him to handle. But I guess he does buy Whitemon way back out there. The first kill of game 3 still on the table.
Pretty low on regen already, though. Sometimes Slark can suffer in these early spell trades because unless you can just run a hero down and build the stacks up, he doesn't trade that well. You're kind of looking for that sort of exchange. Hero will continue to muscle his way through this laning phase. He wants as good a start as he can, so you get that first item as fast as possible. You can join the fights and start building your own momentum instead of relying on the team. Quinn, feeling the Sand King laning phase is not that fun of a matchup for him right now.
Yeah, if he's got the mana, he's got to level up in every single one of his abilities. Burrow Strike, Sandstorm, and then a Stinger. That really adds up.
I do like the Queen pick, though. This is a hero we saw Liquid go to yesterday that can really bring you that later team fight scale. Dyrachyo barely dodging out.
Missing out of the shards, but maybe they can still get the kill, though. He self-denies. He says, you're not getting the first blood. I'll take myself out. And it's Tofu. He gets it instead. So because Dyrachyo makes that move, his ally gets the heap of gold.
We've seen Dyrachyo do this a lot on this hero. He times it pretty well. He can play for it a lot of times. Makes the move there and gets Game in a big win in this early game. First blood once again going their way. Quinn starting to climb back on that CS board in the lanes. Looking solid for Gaiman so far. They also went back for this Enchantress, taking it away from Tundra, realizing the strength of this hero in that early game, particularly with what Whitemon was able to do on it. They're going to look to match that early game presence, and it's a hero Celery is super comfortable with here. So I expect if they have a strong lane on this bottom with the Alk Ench, that the Ench can potentially look for the gate rotations, especially if you can put some early pressure into the Slark. Not a hero that generally responds well to being outnumbered in the early fights.
Drinking Buddies to add the damage, going for the kill on Celery. Dyrachyo is racking up an unstable concoction, ready to throw because Celery will survive. And now they're just trying to max out the damage they can push back onto Tundra. Boy, both these teams just getting full aggro here. Whether it was through the bounty runes and the little harassments there we've had there, also fighting for every single CS. Neither team wants to give any free ground in this laning phase, which feels all important. Another unstable concoction, another go. This time heading to Ramses. Ramses doesn't have the scorched earth, the extra movement speed required. Shard separates him, but the burnout of the acid is more than enough. With the help of the Pine Cone, they're going to be able to get that kill and trade out support for core to the favor of Gaming Gladiators.
Gaiman will take that every time, especially getting the extra experience on Celery here.
Is he going to get this as well? The Siege Trial is going to impale the back to him. Oh, Soxa! He has to put the very fire. He's cornered. He's caught in a trap. And Celery gets 2.
Not expecting that one. This Enchantress is already level 4 almost. Having a very strong laning phase here. And I mean, giving Tundra a taste of their own medicine.
What a hero.
Looks on.
I mean, if anyone was going to be able to match the impact that Whitemon's Enchantress had in Game 1, it certainly is going to be Celery, who's going to give him his run for his money. Top lane, disruption goes out. Ace, the target here, the tanky hero. With the help of Whitemon, they might just get him, but there is a lot of damage coming out from this Bat Rider. Meanwhile, did a good amount to Soxa here, but now he's on the run.
Doesn't want the courier, wants to try and live.
A flame of trails, but the Shadow Poison keeps on tagging him. A fifth one would probably do the damage. Tries to pull him in, hits that fifth one. Whitemon gets a double.
Pure even using the courier just to scout up the hill a little bit. Give his team a little boost. Flip side though, Ramsey's going down again. Celery snags another big kill in this laning phase. This Enchantress already proving her worth. 3-1 start for him. Securing a free farm lane for Dyrachyo at this point. Feels like Tundra just given up on this Alk Ench lane. Trying to win their safe lane equally as hard as secure comparable farm for Pure here.
Who would you rather shut down when it comes to the offlaners? Would you rather have the Underlord have a bad game or the Doom?
Probably the Doom here, just because the utility out from Doom versus the Alk is pretty severe. Like, there's no real way you can play around in this game as Gaiman, and it's a hero that just recovers a bit better.
The Underlord more reliant on winning the laning phase, and his laning phase is rough right now. A Sonic Wave comes out for Quinn. He doesn't save Ace, but it can maybe get some kills. Epicenter being threatened, pushing Quinn away while the Slark tries to get out, but Tofu puts him down still though. Thompson, he finds Quinn. He gets that kill. Tofu still chasing after Soxa, will manage to get that one. So Tofu, the support is the one to clean up, but it's the cores who suffer for Gaming Gladiators.
Gaiman Their cores miss a lot of experience in that fight, and the damage from the Queen of Pain just not enough there. It was a very clutch shard from Soxa going down, but he locks Quinn into the range of that epicenter going off from tops and secured that kill at the end. Still have an Alk free farming on this bottom lane, but it does cost Gaiman's cores some speed and tempo in this game and boost Thompson back up the Sand King straight to the top here in terms of levels, CS, and almost net worth. He's comparing himself to the Alchemist right now. That is a good sign.
I do feel like Sand King has got to be the scariest hero at this tournament. What so many players have managed to do with this hero, whether through a good laning phase or not, just because the recovery found in the jungle seems to be so efficient for this hero. 6-5 now, 7-minute Wisdom Rune spawn. No early contests here from either Gaming Gladiators or Tundra. They're too focused on keeping their presence in the lanes for now, especially Gaming Gladiators, who still have 3 at this top.
Pure made the rotation mid, got a D-ward. Now we'll run back top to try and defend this tower as Gaiman looking for the dive.
Whitemon's in trouble, but he does have some support coming in. Pure's going to show up here. Can he do anything at all? I mean, these
level
3
5.
heroes, it's just too much for him. Especially, yeah, as you said, level 5, without an escape mechanism in his ultimate, he really cannot step up to any of these heroes. And Thompson's too busy farming neutrals to help.
Look about going back in. Epicenter in 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, Ramsey's now here. They want to try and use this Doom nice and early. Ace, he'll be left behind. They didn't even have to use Doom for that one. Sonic Wave goes out, but the snowball past him. He whiffs a big one there, and Tundra blood in the water now. The little Slark is gonna pick up a kill in Celery and get 1 stack for himself.
4 permanent Agi for Pure already. Not the worst start for a level 5 Slark. Oh, for the levels. They'll get a courier as well. What is Dorachio's courier even doing there? I don't know.
Well, he went through the gate and tried to get himself his items there, but he instead finds that because of the missed Sonic Wave, that fight, it was already done for Gaming Gladiator.
That really hurt Gaiman there. You want every one of these early game Sonic Waves to at least land 1 core kill or win you a team fight there. It just gets nothing in the snowball dodge. And now Tundra get to pressure the map a bit more with that cooldown. Thompson continuing to hunt here. Half HP, doesn't care, wants the Alk.
Yeah, Thompson's just not leaving him alone. The disruption set up into the epicenter. Fire strike, it's close. Needs a little bit more in there. The AoE damage to the epicenter is enough. Thompson don't get burned out. Gets a little screen there from Quinn to finish him off. Soxa, a wise TP out, allows him to be able to bail. They got their kill on the Alchemist, but the Gaming Gladiators did get a lot in return for him. Shutting down this Sand King's momentum has got to feel good.
And Quinn getting the kill pickup. Versus Queen of Pain back up the charts. He needed a big influx of gold like that. Gaiman supports are doing a lot of work in the early game. They're currently out leveling Tundra. Level 6 is online for the Bat and the Ench compared to the level 5s here. But I will say these snowball saves, the whole series, man. Soxa just putting on an absolute clinic. Just dodges so much every fight. This is going to be a spell that Gaiman have to play around a bit better than in that game 1.
They have a lot of heroes that, if they survive a few more seconds, they can output a ton more damage, right? Epicenter, Sandstorm, the Slark is a big part of that as well.
And this is going to be the MO in the fights. Like, Gaiman have to play through a lot of saves and a lot of disruption on the side of Tundra. You have Slark with Depth Shroud, Disruption, and Snowball save that can all go on this Thompson Sand King on the front line. And while you're waiting for him to come out of all those saves, he's dealing the damage to you. He's wearing you down. Finding the backline in this game would be delicious for Gaiman.
The backdoor hits on these towers do not seem to stop. Whether it's the Enchantress or with some of these other games with like Lycans in the game and stuff, it's just constant. You may have had the waves pushed in, but all of a sudden these random neutrals or wolves or what have you come out of the woodwork and start chipping away at your towers. And that's what's happening to Tundra here is Celery. He's trying to do what he can on this Enchantress to take objectives. He's now prancing his way up to the top lane where Pure is going to get some good D-warding going on. That'll help him.
Yeah, he's been active helping out with the wards. So we'll be a smoke bottom with the Queen of Pain here. Sonic Wave back up. Looking for the Dagon build up. Just more burst damage, but you're far away for now. Arcane Rune, however, is what makes this gank extra juicy if you can land it. Tundra playing safe down here, but both supports are here, so they might feel confident pushing forward. Still don't know Quinn lurking in the trees.
He almost walking in melee range there of Tofu.
And look at Celery mid. He's just pushing this tier 1, trying to get somebody to show on the map, get some sort of pressure in response if this gank fails bottom. He's getting some serious tower damage. No one's responding to this. Tundra taking a defensive stance right now. They want the Mage Slayer on Pure. That's going to be his first item on this Slark. Allow him to go in the fight, be tanky.
And finally, he does get his response, but is he going to regret pushing this one? It looks like his heal is just too much. The damage overtime from Tundra cannot seem to contest the heal overtime that the Enchantress brings. Zoxa needs to get a snowball on out of here, and he does have one. That'll get him to the edge of the pit, and he'll walk away.
Everybody walks it off. Blink reveal for Tops and Epicenter on cooldown. Did put the Sonic Wave on cooldown, but that's an Arcane Rune.
He still jumps the Queen of Pain, though there wasn't any immediate follow-up. They immediately smoke after that. It seems like it's a poke into getting a reaction out of Gaming Gladiators and then a fast move. Where's this move going to go to, though?
I mean, Celery saw them take the rune bottom, so Thompson's just going to show. But the second half of this move might catch Darachu off guard. I mean, these are juicy camps to leave.
Oh,
he's going to
so
leave
close. The courier is leading right to him, but he's going to get through the gate before the smoke can arrive.
That's a very clutch play from Darachu. I mean, you would love to stay there for those mini golems and all the Grievel's Grief bonus.
Oh, yeah.
But just makes the read that smoke was coming into him, and he is closing in on this Sacred Relic. If he doesn't die right now, he's going to have it in the next minute and a half here. Smoke continues on through the gate.
Love that play. Using the courier to see if there's anybody else coming through the gate after him. And he sees, okay, it's a Shadow Demon. He loses courier for it. Who cares? He got info out of it. Enough info that he feels comfortable staying in this lane. It's not just a Shadow Demon. That's not enough to threaten this Alchemist.
Will cost his courier, but can always head over to the shop himself to finish up that Radiance.
True.
Big decisions for Gaiman are when do you fight with this Alchemist, though? Are you confident for him to join fights with only the Radiance? Do you want to wait later on for a BKB timing, something of this nature? And where's your defense against the Sand King going to come from? Ace is building a first item pipe. It's going to be a little slow here, though.
Mid tower is going to die here. Celery just trying to make sure that there's no chance of Zoxa getting a deny. Good use of the enchant to give him the extra damage. Quickly taking it. 30 seconds left till another round of Wisdom Runes. We've seen a lot of action around these. We'll see if Game of Gladiators or Tundra want to try and make a move.
There's a lot of Blink Daggers coming out and on the map right now. Ramses also went for first item Blink on this Doombringer. So you have double Blink up for Tundra and a Blink coming out for Tofu on this Bat Rider. A lot of initiation power on the map right now. Both teams want to use it.
Every single time a smoke comes up from one team or the other, though, it seems like their opponent plays defensive enough that the smokes just don't give them any opportunity. Even with the Blink Daggers, you're looking especially on Tundra's side, this mid lane doesn't feel the best because that mid tower is still up.
And Celery's just defending the entire river. He is permanently scouting for smokes in this area.
Yeah, it looks like he's just patrolling back and forth up and down the river.
I mean, we saw the fight earlier. There's no way you can go on this Enchantress with a lineup that's predominantly magical nukes early.
Yeah.
So it's another smoke that doesn't yield too much for Tundra. Continue to farm up the map here. But I don't know if this Blink Dagger is feeling too good for Ramses right now. Like, you're probably going back for Midas on this Doom regardless. Could have had it running this whole time, right? These missed jumps for him. Going to cost him some time. And the flip side, Gaiman are going to try and use this blink on the Bat Rider to find a big core target. Would love to find Pure straggling somewhere. But again, they get scanned out. Another defensive play from Tundra will dodge this smoke.
Yeah, it was right as the Dagon was picked up, so they really did have a chance to be able to blow up the Slark.
And Nighttime also hits here.
Yeah, that makes things a lot harder.
Gets his vision advantage, will push into game inside of the map. Tundra swarming around this tier 1 top. They would love to find Alchemist. And in fact, Invis rune for Thompson. He's going to sneak his way in here. Scout Ace.
If you're going to go for this big boy, you're going to need more than just the Sand King. And he's going to try point blank Epicenter Burrow Strike. Need more damage. Whitemod's here with a Demonic Purge and a jump forward from the toss. A Walrus Punch. All three of them combined can put enough damage to bring down the off-lane Underlord. And straight to it, so many heroes around. Let's try and chip away at some objectives as well. The off-lane tower is up next.
Delays that pipe buildup, which is really nice for Thompson here. Going to give him more windows in the fight to deal the early spell damage. Level 2 Epicenter going to work. Teams continuing to dodge each other on this map. We'll secure a power rune for Quinn. to at least get something out of this space, and it's a good one. Amp damage root on this queen.
Oh, they are so deadly right now. Blink, lasso, amp damage, Dagon, the Sonic Wave ready to go.
It's a lot of burst. Someone will get melted, but you have to be able to find them.
And he got Thompson. Whitebot trying to close the distance to get disruption. A Burrow Strike puts him in range. Now they hit it, but it's not like Quinn used many spells. He saved the Sonic Wave for the second part of the fight. Hey, Thompson, the amp damage almost getting the snowball, pulling him out. Oh no, did Thompson manage to get away? Saxa!
Every time these snowball saves have ruined Gaiman's team fight, now it's ruining their ganks. Another Sonic Wave down the drain. Sure, you picked up Whitemon, but that is not the target you were looking for. They brought everybody to that. Brought the Alk, used the gate. Sonic Wave back on cooldown. Thompson limps back to base. He survives to fight another day and push towards this Bloodstone.
As a result, Game of Gladiators, even on kills, they're up by 4K. Would you say that with an Alchemist, because he produces that extra amount of gold, it's a lineup that's supposed to be ahead? Do you think Game of Gladiators is actually in a good spot? Do you think it's an even game? Where are we at?
I mean, they're in a good spot just because their two supports have found a lot more in this game. And they can continue to scale, continue to farm up here. This Batrider and Enchantress can push the waves, cut waves, play deep on Tundra's side of the map. They're really hard to kill, and they're really annoying. So currently they're finding more net worth, and it's adding up. You did finish the pipe on Ace, which is your big aura this game. Combine that with the Manta on Dyrachyo, and suddenly you can just take 5-on-5s, translate them into objectives.
And that's going to be tough for this hero right here, the Slark, to be able to deal with that kind of team fight. Thompson, caught by the lasso as he tries to jump on a Quinn, pushed back by the Flip, straight into the unstable concoction. No Burrow Strike save this time, no disruption either, as Whitemon's going to be caught up in the push forward from Gaming Gladiators.
Thompson just wanted to poke the Queen's resources, ends up paying a big price. And that is a very important spell for Gaiman as well as this game progresses. The Flame Break here, if Tofu can push the saves away from the target they go on like we saw there, that's a huge deal. Could stop a clutch disruption coming out, could stop the snowball from the Tusk. Depth Shroud later on, a factor as well. This is kind of your one spell to break up that positioning, push the backline farther away.
You're getting the Ags on Pure. He is going to be so much harder to catch on the map.
And I think we're going to see him start to become more aggressive as well.
And they're going to start off using the nighttime vision to get the leap on to Tofu.
Ags delivered, instant kill, another permanent Agi. This Slark's going to have some buffs to play with, like the Drinking Buddies. And this is still a nighttime interval for a minute here. And you want to roam around the map, deward a lot of the obs, get extra kills. You're closing in on the Sand King Bloodstone as well, so some big items aligning here for Tundra. And that Roshan is still up, so they're going to smoke and try and get active. Again, they're going through the gate looking for the Alchemist. On the part of the map they feel Dyrachyo's farming.
They know he's there, but Dyrachyo has already cleaned up the camp with that Radiance. Is moving on to the safety of his own high ground, which Tundra will surely try to invade. It's going to be hard to kill. Chemical Rage, is he going to pop it? Will even matter though because of the team that's coming in. Ramses, popping it into Sonic Wave. They take it immediately. Finally it goes up. They're trying to make us run away, but the Pounce is holding him in place now. The Shards keep him in spot, but who cares? He is anchored to a team fight that he's winning. And Tundra will be the ones to drop 3. Pure with a Pounce away. Desperate TP out. Unstable Concoction will not arrive in time.
It was a trap all along. Gaiman were more than ready to turn that play around. And that was your one last bit of nighttime to get the Slark active like that. Pure will feel the stun still land, and the sting of a lost team fight of a botched gank.
And that is scary. 10,000 net worth lead for Gaming Gladiators. Tundra, I mean, they've added 3 different times now. You know the big team fight push is going to be coming from Gaming Gladiators soon. It's just when they feel like the Alchemist is strong enough to hit that high ground, and it really does seem like he's approaching that territory. Radiant, Manta, soon to be BKB. I have to imagine that and an Aegis Gaming Gladiators are going to threaten your high ground, and Tundra need to be ready for it. They start off once again trying to hit Duracho here. This time it's off of a Bloodstone Sand King who's trying to hit Epicenter with the disruption. He's going to be healing up a lot off of this one. Maybe not enough, though.
Another save.
Drinking save. The snowball, and it hits. Another strike on it, too. Thompson goes in to try and win the team fight. But will that stun be enough? Tundra feel like it's not. On the retreat, making a run for it. Quinn chasing after a match, hit the pin onto Saksa. Looking at a little bit more. It's going to be Whitemon. The support. Lazo immediately. No, he hit the Dark Pack. Pure's able to take that one off, but it's still loss after loss here. They got the Alchemist, losing 3 for it. Avery, how does that break down?
It's just not a worthy trade. You needed more in this fight, but it's a fight you're playing without Doom. It just takes so long to bring Duracho down. You had the Bloodstone active on the Sand King. When he's disrupted, he's not healing up. Just an awkward situation for Tundra. They don't have that big ult online. It's not nighttime for Pure. Doesn't get to play a super long fight that he wants to and build up the stacks. You end up losing your tier 2, losing 3 heroes. And the story of this game has just been the supports for Gaimin. They're continuing to find so much net worth here. Celery rolled the Grove Bow as well, so this Enchantress is a huge damage threat. Ooh. And he is absolutely massive, level 13, going straight into his own Dragonlance here.
Even scarier, Tundra ever get caught in a lasso, so much burst damage, whether it's the Queen of Pain or this Enchantress. They could do a lot, but Tundra, they still have some answers to the Alchemist, and I think that's the thing that really intrigues me the most. They've got Doom versus Alch. Like, surely that has to be one of the best answers you could ask for against this carry hero, right?
It is 100%. Like, you go in, you Doom this Alch, the Slark starts hitting him, you throw down Depth Shroud, Disruption, Snowball. That's the type of fight you're looking for, and then all of a sudden you get a 5v4 where all your heroes are still full HP. That's why these supports for Gaimin are the real X factor in this game, because if you can make some more cores out of them, you end up in situations like that where even if you kill the Alchemist, Gaimin can still win the fight.
Yeah, too many threats, right?
Yep. And that's the type of lineup Doom does not enjoy playing against. So while his target's clear here, it's not a guaranteed teamfight win. And Quinn, he was able to find a lot during these last few skirmishes. 4-1 and 8 now on this Queen of Pain. Shiva's done. It's a big item here, a very obnoxious item for the Slark.
There's the BKB timing and straight to the Roche pit for Duracho.
Lines up perfectly. Daytime Radiant Roche, hard for Pure to contest. Duracho with a nice BKB timing here. He is very fat. Gaimin feel like there's no contest available for Tundra.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, it's doable. Like, you have your Blink Pipe on Ramses. He resold the Midas for it. You have your Blink on Sand King.
Oh, it's such a hard decision to make. They could have gone for the pit, but they're opting not to, playing defensively for now and maybe waiting for Gaming Gladiators to push into them. And you can see, I mean, they're really well set up for it right now if the push does come. But as it stands, they're going to be playing a 6 versus 5. Do you try and stop this momentum of Gaming Gladiators you're building up now, or do you try and stall out the game like they did successfully in Game 1?
I don't think you fight them head on unless they go high ground. I think you try and rat the map, look for pickoffs, wait for this clock to roll over into another nighttime interval where Pure can give you more map control. I think Gaimin are just going to push the lane, though. Like, this is what this team always does with this type of advantage. And they just picked up an Ags on Ace. This was one of the faster Ags I've seen on him. Kind of an unconventional item on Underlord before you have some of the other auras. But a second pit off this gate could really debilitate the backline for Tundra and just make Quinn's life easy. If everybody's rooted for the entire duration of the fight, this Queen's just going to do an insane amount of damage.
It also makes like these high ground engagements easier, right? If you're sitting in a fixed area and that fixed area has double pits around, maybe even a triple, depending on how close he is to the fight, could be really annoying for Tundra.
And for Pure. Like, jumping and fighting into these pits. Yeah, you can dispel some of it, but eventually they snag you.
Dark Pack's only going to do so much. You really need a BKB. Something he's not going to be rocking for quite some time. 18-11, a 16,000 net worth lead for Gaming Gladiators. Can we hit the nighttime interval?
It's the big question in this game. Can Tundra hold on? Can they find a way to win a team fight? Get themselves back in this game. Blink daggers are online.
They spot Thompson, thanks to a high drive forward, and pull him back into his doom. It's a lasso, chain stun combination. Thompson still managing to get up his Bloodstone. Oh, a disruption, dodges the Sonic Wave. He's going to come back out. Can he survive, though? Not a chance. Duracho just doing too much damage. Your saves are not enough. It's just a momentary respite until the sleep comes for you. The death 4 down for Tundra. Straight back to that tier 2. And you can feel the ball is rolling for Gaming Gladiators. Tundra gotta feel the pit in their stomach. This overwhelming advantage that Gaming Gladiators is building up may be too much for them to surmount.
Pure just can't find his point in these fights. Like, there's no stacks to build up. The fight's over too fast. Someone's getting jumped. You're expending all your saves. But it's just saving a Sand King who comes straight back into death. Not enough sustain, not enough firepower. This Alk BKB is king of the fight right now. Even with Doom online, like, there's just no Doom to get thrown out there. It was a nice jump from Tofu off that high ground ward. Tundra know it's there, but the damage has been done. He'll push out of the base. Nighttime hits. Pure can lead the charge. They're TPing bottom. They want Dyrachyo on bottom lane. He's isolated. Ramses knows it.
It also means that Dyrachyo doesn't have much health. Oh, he missed the stomp! He still managed to get the Doom off, but it's after the Manta. Thompson's coming in with some extra damage, though. The Doom just means all this regen is just not working for this Alchemist. Maybe, though, they can still get some exchanges. Maybe they can still keep him alive. Even the pipeline. No, he takes out on the last
what can
one.
Pure do?
Pure comes in. Can he do this? Because Thompson, he needs a little bit of heal. Fortunately, he got the shard from Pure, helping him out. Pure needs to use his own ultimate now, and he's going to stick around trying to still finish up this Bat Rider. They've got him. Soxa. He snowball saved, yes. He gets him inside of it. But back inside of the pit, you're just stuck in the same old muck and mire that you were in prior to the disruption, prior to the snowball. Again, they kill the Alchemist, but the trade-off is just against Tundra.
Pure still alive down here, trying to get something else out of this exchange.
I mean, if he gets just one more kill out of this, it's worth it for Tundra.
Some decent stacks at the worst. He might be able to bring him down over the long run, though. Gate's going to bring reinforcements.
He's calling reinforcements. Somebody help! Somebody help! I need the reinforcements. Celery is the one to show up, and he actually gets him a push away with the extra help of the pit. Ace is making a run for it, but Pure hot on his tail, spots him. Body blocking, Celery, body blocking in front of him. Now Quinn's going to slow him down. Pure is being kited. And remember, he doesn't have his ultimate. He used it earlier. One bullet, all he has. He slipped past Quinn, but Quinn gets right back in front of him and pushed back into the team of disruption. Buys him a little bit of time, but there's nothing left. He tries to go into the trees, but Celery will hit him down with the impetus.
The gate always signaling Tundra's doom as the reinforcements come, shut down that Slark despite building up 40 Agi stacks. Pure cannot fight through everything. They do lose a Queen of Pain Ags on a courier. It's a big courier snipe. Removes a lot of the net worth from this push, but there's just so much in these pits. These pits are absolutely ruining the Tusk in the fight. Soxa cannot blink. He can't get in deep in the fight, doesn't have the blink yet. Can't snowball save anybody.
That is a snowball save that just might work, but once again, the pit is going to catch him, but he got his target out of there. Ramses making a run for it. Meanwhile, Aegis is about to expire for Quinn, but he's going to dive into this tier 3 area to pick up that pesky support that has been such a nuisance in this series. Soxa's Tusk still doesn't like immediately use his. Looks like Ramses made the call. He wanted to jump in. He immediately got silenced, though. Once again, his jump just does not grab Gaming Gladiators fully. Still gonna try for it though, off the pounce. Whitemon gets grabbed, managed to force him down to the low ground. Both a disruption and a save from Pure. Whitemon, he is backing away, so is Soxa. Tundra just on the edge of a knife. It feels like they lose one more fight, and that Gaming Gladiators push is coming, but they don't die yet. And Pure looking to push his advantage, knowing the Gaming Gladiators have run out of certain resources. Again, the silence comes in. Uh-oh. Anything here? No, they managed to stop him from getting through that bait with the Burrow Strike. Is it good, though? Dyrachyo with the Shivas out. They have an unstable concussion. Managed to hit him with the Doom, though. Ramses got the carry in the Doom. Where is the follow-up, though? Pure's trying, but it's just hitting Ace's Underlord. He is a big, tanky man, but he will be whittled away by this Slark bit by bit. They managed to get him out. These constant retreats from Gaming Gladiators not giving Tundra what they want out of it. They're just so close to winning a fight, but they can't have it.
Another 30 stacks built up on this Slark, but can't convert it into anything as Gateman just walk it off. They walk off the Doom. This Ace Underlord, he's giving up a lot of stats, but ultimately he's too big to bring down, and these pits just keep slowing down everything. So difficult to push through here for this Tundra lineup. They need their next set of items. They need more sustain in the fight. The Shiva's guards for the Doom and the Sand King, they're thinking about 2 of them here. And BKB for Pure, that would make a huge difference. That would allow him to commit in once he builds up the stacks to actually stick on a target and bring them down. Do you have time to get there? That's the biggest question against Gaiman. Do you have the time? This next Roshan's going to be coming up shortly. And of course, a lot of that was without a huge item on Quinn. He lost that Ags on the Courier. It's only respawning now. So he's effectively got, you know, almost 5 or 6K net worth between that and the gold he has that was out of this game.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming back now, and that is a scary thing to think about.
That Orchid really paid off for Jirachi in multiple instances, and now it's even more dangerous. A Bloodthorn. That is something that Pierre's going to have to keep his eye on always. Smoke up from Gaming Gladiators.
It's a scary item for the Slark, and it's been obnoxious for Ramses, who he's been caught a couple times on the blink and just getting silenced before the Doom comes out. Yeah, Gaming will smoke. Look for somebody farming the triangle here.
So close to evening out the Ord advantage. The Shiva's on, the Queen of Pain don't have it on the same key. They find a pick. This Shadow Demon is a great target, and even if it's a support, man, he is just these constant disruption saves. They have to be able to address the backline first in order to break Tundra, and they found one, but are they going to get anything off of it?
Currently a Mud Golem sitting in the Roche pit, so Gaming are opting to stay on this side of the map, try and angle for that Radiant Roshan. See when it spawns and go straight for it. Amp Damage Rune for Quinn, hits level 20 as well. Huge power spikes for this Queen of Pain. And he's going to continue to scale into a beast here. Disperser finished for Pure. That's going to be the biggest damage upgrade for Tundra. And the Shivas is done for Thompson. So this next fight, I mean, that's as good as it gets for them for a while. They're going to have to make something happen with what they have.
How do you set up this team fight for Roshan?
I mean, you got to get a Doom on the Alk. Maybe the Queen of Pain is good enough, one of those two. And Thompson just needs to stay alive. Like, you have to commit saves either on the Slark or the Sand King to keep them going in the fight. And you have to build up the stacks. You have to get in a position where Pure can start hitting the Underlord or hitting the Alchemist for a good, 10, 15 seconds.
I'm beginning to wonder if the Queen of Pain is the better target, just because we've seen multiple Dooms on this Alchemist, and every single time, maybe he dies, but he's so tanky that his impact is still felt for a while.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you might want to Doom this Queen at this point. It takes a lot of the damage and network out of the fight if you can burst Quinn down. And you don't have the best control to lock him in an area unless the Slark's on top of him, which just hasn't been the case. AC finished for Ace here. That is a massive armor upgrade for the team. And the fact that Dirachu doesn't have to build it here means he can go into a butterfly. Roshan falling fast. Are you even going to contest this as Tundra?
It doesn't seem like it. I thought surely this was the Roshan they were going to play for, but they're coming out too late to be able to do so. The Bloodthorn makes Roshan so much quicker to take. The Roshan Roar goes out, and Tundra, they're like, okay, can't do it, boys. We're going to have to play back Dark Pact. It is going out in Pure. He's making a scramble forward to the gate on the other side. Managed to get the grab. Ramses hits his Doom mark. They're trying to blow up this Alchemist, and they managed to get him. Quinn is also low HP. Managed to blink back, though. Hits a good dagger with that Aghanim Scepter. This damage is going to start building up. Tundra need to start backing away. But Gaming Gladiator's not going to build a look at Quinn. A sliver of HP finally goes down. He loses his Aegis. Ramses and Thompson play to the trees, out of sight, out of mind. Gaming Gladiators without their Alchemists are going to try to be the ones to retreat now, but Pure full HP, he wants more off of this one. He knows this is an opportunity to get as much net worth out of Gaming Gladiators. Just one more core kill would put so much into Tundra's pocket, but no, a Yule Scepter and a blink away gets Quinn out of there, and same goes to the Bat Rider. Pure does what he can, but it's not enough to get more.
What an insane fight from Tundra, though. They had so much go right for them. They got the Doom initially on the Alk. That's a beautiful find from Ramses. They got a 2-man core burrow strike out from Thompson, epicenter on everybody, and then they had like a 3-man Death Shroud, Death Shroud in the middle of all that. Everyone's just healing through the damage. They're able to get everybody out alive.
And right as we say, maybe we consider the Doom on the Queen of Pain. The quad picking up the Aegis made the targeting perfect for Tundra. They say, okay, we have to go the Alk, and they got the burst on it this time around. There was no lingering Alchemist doing his Radiance and doing some right clicks in. This time around, they killed him fast.
This is a big turn in this game. Tundra, the breath of life breathed back in as it felt like this game was spiraling out of control. They find big targets here, very clutch spell casting on these two cores. And then this Depth Shroud just going in. It does so much to sustain everybody here. This is the kind of fight you're looking for. At the same time, man, these pits, they have just absolutely debilitated Tundra in these fights. They don't have good answers for them yet. Still able to get everybody out of here, reset, and then you can think about going back in. If you weren't so low on a lot of these heroes, I think more would have committed with Pure, as he knows, you know, once that initial exchange happens, they are favored over the long haul. You just have to push through it.
Thompson, he was a nuisance this time around. Oh, another disruption. They
save.
stopped the lasso initiation. Now Ramses comes in with his BKB. Still dealing with the Sonic Wave onto 2. The Death Shroud wants to get involved enough. They managed to get the Doom onto the Queen of Pain. A great target, and there's a full HP Pure. And Thompson is going nowhere. Slamming the ground, slamming Gaming Gladiators. 2 cores down. One of them's going to buy back the Quinn. He's back into play, takes to the gate, and will swing this team fight back to the favor of Gaming Gladiators. At least the end of it, but it is costly.
That is a very expensive buyback, not just economy-wise, but your idea in this game about how you're winning fights, it feels like it's shifting the other way right now. The Depth Shroud value in the middle of these team fights is absurd for these melee heroes that Tundra are just jamming into the center of that. And of course, all of that is an extremely fast disruption from Whitemon in exactly the right place at the right time with the perfect spell casting. Ruins all of that initiation for Gaimin. And at that point, you're just dragging Sand King into the middle of everybody. Free Blink Dagger trip for Thompson. Ramses jumps in to bail his buddy out. He now has BKB to make that jump. And that is a large shift in the win probability here. Gaimin were looking to close this game out with that last Roshan. It might be going to another one here. And that's going to be contestable from the side of Tundra. If you get to this Scotty on Pure, he's the strongest hero in the game. It's not a question anymore. He is. It's just a matter of what he can do in the fight.
Do you think Scotty was the right choice, though? Because we talked about the option of maybe BKB against a lot of this AoE magic damage that's thrown around from the Queen of Pain. Do you think this greedier stat-focused build is better for the Slark?
I mean, it's going to pay off way more in a long fight. It's going to help him deal with the Alchemist and the Underlord a lot more. He can chase them down solo. He can reduce more of the healing. It's a very impactful item for this game, and I don't blame him for skipping the BKB here because they have a lot of saves. He has ult, he has Depth Shroud, he has Dark Pack. There's nothing that really threatens all-inning the Slark in this game, right? Unless you land some insane lasso on him that would just be ungodly. He's not worried about getting burst down. Maybe fighting through the pits is a bit annoying, but so far, Tundra have pushed through it. They've evened out a lot of this net worth deficit. Now all of a sudden they have 2 of the top 3 net worth cores and a BKB done for Thompson. This Sand King is starting to heat up. Ascetics cap on top of it for some extra HP regen. And the debuff that gives you the status resistance. If you lasso the Sand King, he might live with even without a disruption or something of that nature.
Yeah, if he lives, he's guaranteed to get out the Epicenter Sandstorm. That is just an entirely different story. The heal that he's going to be able to get off of that. A lot of these fights, though, have been about the Doom, and Gaming Gladiators are going to address that. They still have this giant net worth lead, thanks in part to having an Alchemist, but the Queen of Pain is also not too underfarmed either, not that far behind the Sand King, and is trying to get a Linken's.
I think Dyrachyo has switched up his idea as well. He was originally eyeing something with this Talisman of Evasion, but now he's just going to forsake it, go for his own Linken Sphere. Gaming agree they need to deal with the Doom in these fights on their cores. Still, the one upside for them as this game goes later is like the farm on these supports, man. I mean, Celery is above Ramses with an Enchantress versus a Doom. Supposed to be a hero that can create extra gold, and he's falling behind this 5. Hurricane Pike, Mage Slayer, Quiver in the backpack. This Enchantress is level 20. He's massive. This could be the saving grace for Gaimin if the fight goes long. The amount of damage Celery can output with 2,000 mana. Or do you just run out of mana?
It's game 3. It is going some distance here as we cross over the 40-minute threshold. 31-16, and it feels dead even. It feels like Tundra were just one bad fight away from losing the game, but they have won multiple team fights in a row, or at least kept them close enough that Gaming Gladiators haven't managed to continue the snowball that they're so infamous for. Now, managed to get a Burrow Strike onto 2. They bait out the road to go for Quinn. Quinn's gonna be able to get away before the pounce lands from Pure. Missing that one, the Epicenter takes purchase on nothing, and as a result, Tundra quick to retreat after using multiple spells and items. Cooldowns are paramount for them to be able to win these fights. They have to give way to Gaming Gladiators now to make the move.
At least Tundra gets some information off that, which is these 2 Linken Spheres on the 2 cores.
True.
There's a chance Ramses would have doomed straight into it. Now he has more to play around with. Epicenter is on cooldown. Gaimin want to try and make something of this, but they are missing Chemical Rage for 25.
And it's a much easier target to be able to get the gun away. Disruption is still there, but he has a bloodstone, but he doesn't have the BKB. There's something burst him down. The depth shot helps him out. He got a burst strike out.
Thompson tanky enough to survive the Aesthetics cap, coming in clutch.
Yeah, that Aesthetics cap went a long ways to protecting him there. Just the extra bit of HP he needed. Gaming Gladiators were really hoping a pickoff would finally let them take advantage of all this net worth they've heaped up.
I mean, Whitemon is just owning their initiations.
Yeah.
Like, he gets disruptions on the lassos, but then he throws out this Disseminate, and all of a sudden that Sand King, who has 3,000 HP, has almost 4,000 with the extra buff up. He's really been playing well defensively with his kit here, keeping these cores alive. And they're getting to the point where these heroes are starting to become really tanky for Gaimin's burst damage. I mean, once more Saksa, he went this triple bracer build on the Tusk. He got a Havoc Hammer. This is a 4,000 HP Tusk. You get hit by Sonic Wave, you walk it off.
Burst damage of the Queen of Pain just does not look nearly as effective.
No, you need to put this Axe to use. You need to get some of these dagger procs to go through the fight. Maybe take a hero down with this lasso and again go back to the impetus damage from Celery to pick up the slack, because these are the type of late games where Alk can start to suffer. This is the point of the Slark pick and all these saves Tundra have. Draw the fight out, make it as long as possible. Maybe that Chemical Rage goes down. Maybe you're doomed on one of these big cores.
I was going to say, you were talking about the Queen of Pain making use of this Axe, but you're proposing trying to draw a team fight out against a Slark. Is that even possible to win?
It's tough. I mean, what did it in that mid fight was the buyback on the Queen of Pain. You don't have that. You don't have it right now. You're missing a lot of them on the side of Gaimin. You can abuse this gate to bring people back in the fight, but you need the second life to do it. Right now, Ace is the only core with that buyback on the Gaimin side.
And for the first time this game, we're going to see a clash in the Roshan pit for contest of the Aegis, as Roshan is about to spawn. Tundra are the ones in position first, and Gaming Gladiators will have to be the invaders here.
And Ags on Daracho, he wants to pool it to somebody, but it's not gonna, is it gonna be here for this fight?
They're gonna need to wait a bit more. Celery showing himself, just having a poke at Thompson, showing off some of his damage.
Gives it to Quinn, and Quinn immediately buys BKB. So they want this Queen to be as strong as possible for this next engagement. They might have to wait for this Courier to bring the BKB now. It's a little awkward, but you're not losing any ground here, and Tundra aren't doing Roche. I think a lot of this fight, can you find the Shadow Demon? That's what feels like the piece of the puzzle here for Gaimin. Can you find Whitemon, take that
Thompson, they still got it despite the first strike. What a lasso! Pull them out of the saves. Still though, Thompson, no! BKB Bloodstone is not going to be enough. Media buyback though. Can he get to this fight in time? He has to go through the gate. They're going to hold this high ground around you to make sure that they will have all 5 members if Gaming Gladiators push the issue, which they don't for now. But Celery, who is a big part of the damage component for Gaming Gladiators, gets spotted, but he couldn't get grabbed. The pit came out, threw a little bit of distance here. Tundra going to go for a different mark and to quit. Has to use BKB, throws out some daggers. Sonic Wave onto 2. Pure pops his ultimate early here. While Ramsey still needs to find a Doom mark. They still back away, smoke even, to try and get a better angle on the initiation. The first time didn't work for them. Maybe a second time will.
That's a win for Gaimin though. They took down the Sand King. Their cooldowns are resetting here. Lasso up at 9. Gaimin
confident they'll be able to handle this one, but is it going to be too much? Ace, he's so tanky, but made so squishy by the damage. Thompson's in trouble. Depth shot disruption as well. Healers are coming in. Ace is taking his stats, taking his stats. Pure is going for it. Thompson not going to make it out just yet, but Whitemon's in trouble. Sox is in trouble as well. The supports are going down. Gaming Gladiators winning this fight. How far can they take it though? Do they dare to chase down Ramses and Pure as well, or would they back up for the Roshan? They want everything. They want as much as they can. Oh, maybe that's a mistake. They're stumbling into buybacks now. Teeping onto tier 2's Quinn. He has no mana left, and Pure sees that opportunity. Some heals coming in. It's not enough. Pure trying to get out. Has his ultimate. It's up just in time. And a refresher. He managed to get himself a refresher. Another ultimate. Another swing. This team, getting up enough the shot for the infinite. Get out. Dead. A death. 100 seconds on the clock. Gaming Gladiators wounded but not dead. Will take as much as they can from Tundra. They'll force another BKB out of Ramses. They'll go in deep. How many spells do they have?
Dieback.
Oh
Ramses.
my god, a dieback for Ramses. How many heroes did they kill in that team fight game? And Gladiators just kept it going.
So much damage done from Quinn here. The second light is what wins game in that entire route. The refresher on the Slark was so timely from Pure, but he's just running out of resources. He runs out of mana himself, and the impetus shots are what bring him down. Celery dealt the most damage in that fight of anybody in the game. This Enchantress expends his entire mana pool to secure a teamfight victory right when Gaimin need it. And they will claim their teamfight victory in the form of Barracks this year, but despite all the diebacks for Tundra, they're not out of this game. And Whitemon, he's killing some waves on the map. They will still have a chance to turn this game around. A lot of buybacks on cooldown here as we go into this next team fight. And Roshan, he is still on the map. Switch to that dire side. Switch to the upper half.
Gaimin Gladiators may have used some big buybacks, but they are going to get so much for it. 2 lanes of barracks, and they still have a chance to back up and take Roshan if they want, or they could go for the throw. Quinn has made the call. He wants Megas.
7 seconds.
5 more seconds. Can he get here in time? Dyrachyo and Quinn have to wait out a glyph.
This is a risky push.
Seconds are crucial.
If you die
Can Thompson get his initiation? The Alchemist illusion right now is stopping his blinking, so it's up to Pure to make the jump instead. He hits the Queen of Pain, but to look at Dyrachyo, he's focused on the objectives. He realizes this isn't going to be good enough. Their damage isn't good enough. Now they have to try and get a retreat, but Alchemist is in trouble. Dyrachyo has to pop his BKB. There goes the Epicenter. Thompson slowing down these heroes, trying to stick on top of anybody he can. It's going to be the Celery Enchantress. No, he gets forced staff defensively. Gate comes out from this Underlord. That is not a force they want to contend with when they're not sure if they damage anymore.
That is such a risky push by Gaimin. If you get caught on the retreat there and lose heroes, that could just be the game. You have to remember this Queen of Pain has no buyback for 5 minutes. Ace has no buyback for 4. Dyrachyo can farm his up right now, and I think that's what he's trying to do. But Tundra, they have one more shot. It'll be an Ags for the Sand King.
Oh man, that is a huge pickup.
You believe in the Stinger procs. The extra damage. He's not 25 yet, still missing that big talent. Trying to use the
Thompson gonna be able to find this opportunity to bring this game back into play for Tundra, or Gaimin Gladiators take them out in this 3rd place spot. A little bit of a poke there, but not enough to commit. Neither side feels good about the fight. They retreat to their own corners. Pure.
You want to fight while it's nighttime, and your other lanes are going to push in right now if you're Tundra. Like, you could end up in a situation where your tier 4s are being threatened. Dyrachyo can bots to your base as well. There's some strategic options at play for Gaimin. They are the ones who can wait this out.
Tofu's pulling in a smoke and wards for the next fight. They know that the initiation is so important here. The right jump wins them this game and gets them to the finals.
Look at this Centaur dragging a wave top right now from Celery. It's going to hit the racks. It's going to force a Slark TP back.
No way. A single Centaur has forced Pure to come back and deal with other lanes.
There's too many creeps in the base. Gaimin knew this, why they backed up. Gave up that high ground position and should claim Roshan off the Rax pressure.
Yeah, that Tundra just gonna have to give up entirely. So what a win for Gaimin Gladiators. Unless Tundra can get back here in time, it is gonna be tough for them to move across the map this quickly. It's so much damage from Gaimin Gladiators.
Does Pure actually want to contest this? His supports are so far away on the map. They're ground boots
He's playing entirely solo, trying to go for a seal and an Aegis. He will find nothing. And now he's in the pit. Now he has to make a retreat. He has no more pounces left, and he wants to wait out this one and then pop a refresher. He's got 3. He waits for his team. Thompson finds his entry. He goes for the Bat Rider. Sonic Wave puts him all the way from the bat. And he ults. He might just be able to get out the lasso. Waiting for the Doom. No, he got blocked by the Lincoln's Ramsey. Still doesn't find it. Still though, the Sand King is in the mid. Dyrachyo with his BKB. Pure is going for it and hits the back line. Hits to finish off the Underlord. No comeback from him. 2 dead. He's got the numbers advantage to the damage. Dyrachyo's dead.
The sustain, the save, the refresher on the Slark. Pure just pushes through it all. And these stacks are going to last a long time. He has the level 25 talent. These Essence shifts stay up forever now. Tundra found Tofu at the start of that fight, and it made a huge difference. None of them were getting lasso jumped. Their supports have a free-for-all. And even though the Queen is doing a huge amount of AoE damage, the sustain from the Slark is able to keep his other heroes alive. Thompson just running into everybody with this Bloodstone. And the impetus has come out, but they're just not enough here. There's too much HP to get through.
It seems like Tundra were the ones to be able to kite back and forth, making it so Gaming Gladiators aren't able to focus one target down, and as a result, they cream Gaming Gladiators in this fight. Despite the Aegis advantage, despite everything they got out of the Roshan pit, they cleanly won that one and pull back this game perhaps into their grasp.
They were down over 25k going into that. It looked like nothing as Pure slices them up. They will claim a tier 1 mid at 51 minutes in this game.
Goes to show how much Tundra has scrounged around the map, trying to find whatever they can, whatever gold they can, whatever experience they can, and just draw the game late and later and later. And now, 51 minutes in, the Gaming Gladiators that we're looking at 20, 30-minute high ground pushes are getting stalled.
That time is long gone. You are now stuck in the late game. This is where Tundra thrived, the late game mechanical ability of their team fighters. Level 25 has now arrived for Thompson as well. He's rewarded for his presence in that team fight with a big talent for this hero. Huge damage upgrade. What can Gaiman do to find a way to start winning these fights again? They still have Aegis on Quinn.
Shiva's trying to find the hero that broke the smoke. Whoa! And a brief pause as some sort of issue will allow both of these teams to be able to discuss what is happening here. And Celery says, "We are coming."
He is not lying. So much of this fight rests on the Batrider initiation and what Quinn can do with 2 lives here for Gaiman. You have to find a good target in this lasso, and the Queen has to start getting these daggers up on everybody. The back line, that's the name of the game here for Tundra. Can you protect your supports? There's an Ags on this Shadow Demon. He has double purge, double cleanse, by the way. Something to think about. Another reason these long fights are just so favorable. Your cores start getting demonic purged in the middle of it. It's so much damage for Dyrachyo to deal with.
These teams are going to be frantically talking about what needs to happen in this next engagement. Gaming Gladiators so confident, despite losing the fight around the Roshan pit. They say run it back, and they think they're going to be able to change what happened in that last engagement. Somewhere between the Lincolns and the single target spells, there is going to be a difference in the last team fight, but will it be better for Tundra or better for Gaiman?
I feel like so much of their damage is coming out from this Enchantress. Full MKB done for Celery. He's almost level 25. Like, he has to be able to find his mark in this fight. Quinn has to be able to find his mark. This Alk is almost becoming a second thought.
Yeah, it almost feels like he's just a punching bag for Tundra to distract from the real damage dealers in Quinn and Celery.
And what did Pure just get delivered? He delivered a full BKB. 50 minutes in this game, he finally opted to go for it. So he has 9 seconds of debuff immunity.
I mean, double ultimates and a BKB.
He's God in this game right now. Absolutely untouchable. It's not a question of can you bring this Slark down. It's how much is he going to do in the meantime while you're trying to kill anybody else.
Hopefully, Whitemon will be able to figure out his mouse problems soon and we can get this Game 3 on the road. But in the meantime, Copenhagen, how we feel about this Game 3 right now? I'm so glad that we finally got a series that is worth all of you guys here. I know all of you guys have spent your money and time to be able to be here, whether you bus or you flew or you drove or however you got here to the Royal Arena. Thank you. Thank you for coming out and supporting Dota. Thank you for watching the best esports in the world.
This is what everybody watches Dota to see. Find 2 teams in a Game 3 with so much on the line, trying to push into this grand finals. I mean, think about what this would mean for both of these squads to get there. It's a redemption arc for Gaiman. They were so close last year, only to find themselves so far to fall just short again. Can you live with that?
And yet it feels like fate, right? The fact that they have so many times met Team Liquid in the finals, it felt like it was the fated path that they would do it again, and we'd either see Liquid be able to have their big moment, triumph over Gaming Gladiators, or Gaming Gladiators would be able to fix past mistakes. But Tundra are standing in the way of that fate.
This team, I mean, this is just a team that will not go away.
No.
And you knew it coming into the series today. This is not a team that was going to go down easy, even if you pushed them, even if you tried to use your cheesy Aura, Death Ball, tempo lineups that Moon Meander hates so much and has probably been shaking his head after the last 50 minutes. It did not end this game. It did not push them past the limit of what they were able to play through, and they have clawed their way back. They're still sitting down like 16K in this game. That is the ridiculous part. It feels like they have won 2 team fights down 20K that they had no business winning, and they are still trying to climb that hill to push themselves into that grand finals to face up against another behemoth later today. That is the terrifying part. If you win here, you still got another BO5 to play.
True.
To claim that Aegis, and that is why it is an Aegis of champions. Because you're going to have to prove yourself today in every aspect of this game right now.
Prove that you deserve that immortality, to have your name put on the Aegis.
For a first, second, or potentially third time.
Yep.
That is still alive, as ridiculous as that is.
Gaming Gladiators, I mean, they've had so much success throughout year after year with this roster, but the one thing they have not laid claim to is this tournament. This is why this tournament is so special. The pressure is sky high, and teams will break and crumble, or they will either stand tall in spite of all of that and persevere and come out champions, come out with immortality. Gaming Gladiators, they gonna be able to do it? Will it be Tundra, or will it be a fight that just keeps on going? We begin. Quinn spotting Thompson, slows him down with the dagger and then backs away. He says, this is not the fight I want, not into their high ground position. Instead, I want an extra advantage. I want to cheat. I want an arcane rune to be able to play with. I want to be able to throw as many spells as possible. Will that give them the edge they require to be able to hit this high ground? It feels like Quinn, maybe he's thinking about it.
Look
Still
at the
has
base.
2 minutes left on the Aegis, and yeah, they are threatening the base once again. They got Pure to be able to come back. All of Tundra have to TP with him.
Pure left his courier behind. He's been using this thing to scout, kind of secure vision for the team fight. Will go down here for a bit, so that micro unavailable. This will be the level 25 for Celery. Normally, I don't know how impactful this talent is, but extra impetus damage in this type of game with how much they need him is a big deal. This is an 11-3 and 23 Enchantress right now, approaching 6-slot territory. Absolutely one of the biggest factors. And still, we have to go back to the fact that Quinn, he has an Aegis right now on this Queen of Pain for another minute. Level 25 for Ace, also a big talent with the extra root duration, especially with that Ags. Can you use this Aegis?
Yeah, are you okay with pushing high ground with that Aegis with only a minute left into one of the scariest unknowns of unknowns, right? We have this new Aghanim Scepter for Sand King. We talked about it, it's been theory crafted, it's been tested. This thing is insane. If you can get to level 25 with the extra epicenter pulses, if you get the RNG, Thompson believes. And he's got what it takes. These stingers are so much damage, and they're going to be popping up everywhere if he gets that epicenter off.
I mean, if you are caught in the Sand King spells without a BKB, you're dead.
Yeah.
It's that simple, I think. You're going to have to play for buybacks here, maybe 60-minute items. How much more scale does Gaiman have in the tank, though? That's the big question. This is a lineup from Tundra designed to win this point in the game. Designed to win the Ultra Late when the Slark is 6-slotted with a buyback. Refresher now online for the Doom. Ramsey still looking for his 25. Would be a big talent to get in this game as well. Probably the last of the big core talents.
Oh, yeah.
So Tundra still have a lot of room to grow here. You're still looking for like a blink on Soxa, who went for Vlad's and BKB just to play through the pits and buff up his Slark as much as possible.
I mean, Avery, you've been in these situations before on the main stage at TI. You're looking at this situation where you can't figure out how to end the game. What are you telling your team right now if you're Gaming Gladiators? Because you know that they're still growing. You know that they're still getting more talents, more items. What are you saying to Gaming Gladiators? What do we need to do to be able to finally break them?
I mean, that's where you say, hey guys, we have better late game, and you go back to that Scepter. We have better late game because we're better, and you have to believe it. If you don't believe you're going to win at this point in the game with any lineup, you do not deserve to be in that grand final.
Taking it on faith, perhaps we're just going to wait all the way for another Roshan, all the way to tier 5 items.
And more importantly, 10 buybacks. We are currently at 8 out of the 10 right now.
Right.
Thompson dips a little bit below, but he will have his up in this game.
Yeah, Ace doesn't have his simply because he had so much gold. He actually bought himself a BKB and still almost has it. Just needs to farm a few camps to be able to pick it up. Sand King actually bought out an overwhelming Bleak. I thought he was looking at Refresher before that. Seems like he's going to deviate from that path a bit.
Still a very powerful item, but it will not give him the 2 of everything, which sometimes in these late games makes the difference, especially around that Roshan pit.
Yeah, especially the way the team fights have been started and then retreat and kite back and start again.
And especially when people have buybacks, right?
Yeah.
That second round of spells and items counts for a lot when you have to play 5 into 10 potentially to win the game and close it out here.
And that's a great point because we are going to be talking about buybacks in any of these late game fights, but especially around a Roshan pit that is going to be on the dire side unless things stall considerably. It is a later Roshan. We still have a minute 20 to go, but it will be firmly on the nighttime side where the Dire have control of that outpost, something that they could play with their buybacks a lot easier.
We're also seeing more of these Ag Scepters start to get pulled. Duracho, he's pulled 2 of them. Can start to add these up. Like Tofu, he got his own Ags now. This is a double lasso territory.
Yeah, what happens if Soxo or Whitemon are too close to the target they're trying to save and they get caught in that initiation?
Could be huge. These lassos have meant a lot in these team fights as we go down the stretch. We're approaching the 60-minute mark as well. You have to start thinking about these neutral items. Go back for the Midas once more on the Doom just to secure him instantly. Ramses, he's smoked. He's looking.
Yeah, they're baiting out Thompson right now.
And look, even the
Celery just won't stop, man.
He knows that every little bit of pressure could matter.
And he's also going to be breaking the smoke. He realizes, managed to get the 4th staff away. Tundra too scared to take that high ground fight. They don't know what lies above, and they will call it quits for now. But Celery just continues to remind you, hey, don't forget that we were leading control of this game. Don't forget your 2 lanes of barracks down and just win 1 building away from Megas.
I mean, that could be a route Game and consider. Like, if they don't feel like they can win the straight up 5v5 anymore, you have an Underlord. You can gate to the enemy base in a clutch situation and try and just all in it. Biggest factor for Tundra is maintaining that glyph. But this game really could come down to some weird base situation like that. Especially if Tundra commit buybacks to a fight, they can't get back to defend the throne.
Look at Thompson.
Situation you have to think about.
He knows it's not going to just be a 5 versus 5. It's going to be a 10 versus 10 when this fight breaks out. So wherever the fight does happen, they need to be able to have routes of travels. They need to be able to have bots too, specifically to be able to get to the fight instantly.
It's the biggest factor here, and not a lot of heroes are going to have a bots 2 slot that they want to free up. We're looking at Pure right here. I mean, he's approaching that true 7-slot territory if he eats an Ags and fills it in. He went for his own nullifier here. He is absolutely deadly. He's going to stick on a target. There's not much you can do to prevent that damage coming out other than your BKB durations on game, and you have to pop them at the right time. Secure yourself that life.
I mean, eating an Ags, he could still eat a Moon Shard. There's still more room to grow, and also level 30. We talked about level 25 talent, what they picked up, but we may see the full talent tree being grabbed for some of these carries. And Slark is particularly scary when he is full up on that. Once again, they push out, trying to take control of the top left part of the map where Roshan is going to spawn, and it's going to come up in 5 seconds. There's only going to be a minute of nighttime here, where Tundra feel really good about the fight and really good about their position to take Roshan. If not, it will go to the other side of the map and will go under Gaming Gladiator's control. And they are not immediately taking that Roshan.
So we should see how Tundra are playing this map right now. There's creeps pushing in the waves. It's going to be Thompson on creep wave duty with that bots 2 Sand King. He has buyback available. In fact, all 10 buybacks are now available in this game.
At this point in time, it seems like the teams, I mean, we've seen Aegis fights that actually do not go the way of the Aegis holder. Maybe it's tier 5 items that are more important. 20 seconds till we get picked up. So in that discussion, what are the biggest items you could see on what heroes?
Start praying to Gabe, right? That you get the good drops that you want. I think in general in these late game scenarios, you want an Arcanist armor on somebody. But some of these big support items could make an impact. The cores, I mean, Giants rings are always nice.
It's got to be mirror shields if you're
Mirror
gaming gladiators,
shields are
right?
super value.
I mean, how do you play Doom against just mirror shield after mirror shield with Lincolns on top?
Is this an unwavering condition game? Probably not. I think we'll rule that one out.
First mirror shield gets picked up. Celery takes his.
I could see Searstone for some of these backline supports like the Shadow Demon. Stygian Desolator could be a big one, but yeah, you're looking at mirror shields here.
There's an Arcanist armor for you on the Sand King.
I like seeing
cool
at least
choice
one
for
of those.
him. Duracio's trying to min-max his, he takes away his boot slot. He needs some extra movement speed. He takes force boots.
That's a big one for him. The slot's really valuable, the extra move speed in the fight.
Ace, is it going to be an Arcanist armor on his side? Will it be a Giant's ring? Another mirror shield, this time for the Queen of Pain. Oh, man. How does Ramses do this? Force boots
don't know.
instead.
Ace also got his own force boots, so you have 2 mirror shields to get through between the Queen and the Enchantress. Tofu still waiting for his. See what he opts for here on this Bat Rider. The flip side, mirror shield for Pure, you're gonna have to cut through that. I don't know how he's dying anyway, but you have that plus the Arcanist armor Sand King to fight through. So much resistance.
Bat Rider's opting, I think, to hold on to his Timeless Relic because he feels like,
Searstone.
He takes Searstone. Is he actually swap it in? He does.
That's big. That is a lot of cast range on this hero.
God.
You look at this lasso now. This is an Ag's lasso as well. Tofu's initiation has just got way easier. And this Searstone active is no joke in the late game. You throw it down on a random spot after a scan or something, or the Roshan pit. You see a hero, you jump in, you get that lasso. That can decide everything right now as Gaiman smoke into the pit. They're missing Celery a little bit, but these waves are still going to go into Tundra, so Thompson always has to show in the base. Still Tundra. They're just going to man up for Roshan here.
Yeah, look at Quinn. He is getting close to the pit, and Shivas reveals them inside of the Roshan pit. Pure, getting a couple of stacks here, throws out the nullifier, got a BKB out of him. They're in a deep corner here. Does Game and Gladiators like where this fight is being positioned at? They go for Celery, mirror shield blocks up, a nice Sonic Wave, hitting on a 3. Still, Celery's in trouble, he's broken and he's dead. Ramses refresh, looking for another Doom target here, but they're fighting into buyback with the outpost territory. There it is, buyback on the Celery. He's gonna be coming in soon. They got Quinn locked down, another one dead. 1 into 2, Tundra. Can they get more? Duraccio sees his opportunity with the buyback coming in for Quinn. Can they push through? Ramses low. Disruption. Man's buying some time. Kira's getting a lot of neck though. Kira's getting bigger and bigger. Last slap on Thompson. Goes down the line. So managed to get one. Thompson's still fine. Game of Gladiators are running out of damage it seems. These buybacks are not doing enough. Wait, no. Another Sonic Wave. They got Thompson. A pull forward from Soxa. Couldn't actually do that much. Now he's in danger as Duraccio looks to be able to run him down. Nah, you're not getting out of here. None of that. He goes down. Game and Gladiators throw buyback after buyback, but they hold the Roshan pit.
So much damage from Quinn. 14,000 out of this Queen of Pain. He goes down once, but he gets the job done. Triple buyback from Gaiman. Does cost him a lot, but that Radiant Roshan advantage was huge. And you got to be looking at Tundra's base while all of this is happening. They lost a tier 4. There was a decent amount of wave pressure. Can't afford to take too many of these fights outside your base when creeps are just hitting your throne. Double buyback expended from them on the Shadow Demon and the Doom. They're going to try and hold the other 2 here. Will Gaiman try and push the base to force Thompson's buyback on this Sand King? Do they feel confident enough to do it with the second life on Quinn, but no Queen of Pain buyback?
Yeah, one more buyback used, but one more life added to Game of Gladiators with the Aegis. Does that make us even? They get a buyback out of the Tusk now.
Might just want the Megas here. Look for another lasso. They got Refresher Shard on Ace, so double Hex and double pit potential is online. We also saw the target prioritization from Ramses. He tried to doom the Enchantress, hit a mirror shield. Very tough position for him into all this spell block.
The Roshan Spanner will let them go for high ground here, but the creeps protected. They can take Megas unless Pure gets in front of this one.
Still has 40 stacks.
Yeah, he is stacking up big time, and that is a bit of a problem for Game and Gladiators to consider. Do you really want to push this right now while he has those stacks? Oh, Tojo, he went fishing and he doesn't find anything. Instead, he's going to be knocked out. Sonic Wave trying to protect this Red Rider, but no! He dies! And now the Murder Strike trying to get through the Lincoln, trying to get through the Mirror Shield. Quinn committing to get the base! He gets the Megas. Ace is out of here through the portal. Duracio's on out of here too, but they are going to be able to catch Celery here. Quinn, he's back into play through that gate. Thompson, he has retreats to the high ground with these impetus landing onto him while the Tusk is left behind. That is a dieback. A Scythe onto Thompson. He won't die from this. He gets back, but look at the throne. It's totally exposed and Megas are coming.
You need to hold on to the glyph here if you are Tundra. That is the last thing you want to click in this game. It might be the last thing you click in this game. Gaimin, they get another buyback and a dieback onto Soxa here. 5v4 situation. You don't have an Aegis anymore. They're going to pass the Refresher Shard over to Quinn. Ramsey is still struggling to find these Dooms. There's just so much spell black. He threw out one on Ace. I think it got blocked by a Lincoln's proc.
You can wait for time. Thompson get the Doom onto Ace. A big kill with a nullifier. They shred him. So does Thompson. Almost dying. Disruption. Buys him time. A second Sonic Wave. They miss. Thompson's okay. Thanks for now. Disruption node pulled back in depth shard. Wait a minute. He still has a little bit more time as the disruption buys him life after life. So many second lives for Tundra. Whether it's buybacks, whether it's the snowballs or the disruptions. And Thompson strikes again, trying anyway. Stuck in this slow. Another disruption going out. Gaming Gladiators not overcommitting. They know the Slark is coming back into play soon. Man's gonna scythe onto him. Man's get the Hex on. Can they push it down? They've got him. One more buyback. Tundra, they have a buyback left on Thompson, and that's all that's left. Do Gaming Gladiators keep this going? They are just slowly smothering.
Trying to get out.
A reset through the gate was a bold move, and now, Ramses has to use his BKB, otherwise, the lasso! Tofu gets the lasso to pull him back into his death. That is a dieback. Thompson, he's going to have to use his buyback perhaps. He wants a kill out of it though. First he gets bit. Tofu, wait a minute, refresh BKB. No way, no fucking way. He pops his BKB, hits the epicenter, and he is living. He doesn't use his second life. Not quite yet, not quite now.
The sand got
He has to use it.
Look at the throne, it's just dying to
Oh my god, the epicenter was still going on his life, and it helps clear out the creeps that almost took down the Ancient.
Illusion sent in, Catapult sent in, Whitemon on throne duty, but Tundra, they hold, and you're now in a situation where all 10 buybacks are on cooldown. We went from having all of them to none of them. This game has evened back out somehow. Some way Tundra hold on to this game. They did use their glyph though. This throne is on 1,000 HP with no glyph. The all-in potential from Gaimin is there.
A Divine Rapier picked up Dyrachio.
They're going to all in it, man.
At this point in time, it's not about whether or not they can beat Tundra in a fight. It's about whether or not you can kill the Ancient.
Tundra, you need to find heroes right now. You let Gaimin get into your base with BKBs up, they might just throw you through everything.
Tundra refusing to say die. They have to push outside of the pit in order to stop Gaming Gladiators for going straight for the throne.
He's on the side. How bold are you right now? A man known for the risky plays. Pure continuing to scout outside the base, knows that if Gaimin commit to that throne, you need as much time as you can get to bring these heroes down before they get the win. Will you go for it here on the side of Gaimin? Will you wait for buyback cooldowns? Some of yours are coming up first. That Queen of Pain and Alchemist buybacks up again in 2 minutes here. And you know the longest one in the game right now is the Sand King at 6. I would not fault them trying to wait out this little condition and then go when they have the numbers advantage.
Oh yeah.
You'd feel a lot safer doing it at least.
Tundra, they are stuck between a rock and a hard place of you want to be able to hold your high ground, but you know the Gaming Gladiators are looking at the win condition here. You have to keep them away from the throne. They're strategizing right now. They decided to go for a smoke, and let's see where they let it lie. Are they going to go up to top lane? They're going to go through the gate. They're going to go for the throne. All in on this one. They pop their BKBs. They go straight for the throne. It is all over. Gaming Gladiators take it to the very brink, and they just shove Tundra down into the pit. They will make their move one more time. Like fate, they will move up to the TI Finals to face their old nemesis in Team Liquid.
The Ace Underlord gating them to where they were a year ago, and a chance for redemption against a different foe, but one they are equally familiar with as they look towards that BO5 later today against Liquid. But man, Tundra, this is a team with a stand-in. Soxa went from couch to top 3 in a week. Thompson so close to a 3-peat. Whitemon with one of the farthest pushes for a C player in TI history. Ramsey switching his role to get one of his deepest performances on land and his best TI performance ever. And of course, Pure, perhaps the carry of the tournament in many ways, but cannot close this one out against the inevitable that is a Game in Liquid final. It just is fate.
You cannot stop these grand finals from occurring. As much as Tundra tried, they pushed, I mean, a run through TI that was full of the improbable, but ultimately you couldn't stop it. It was impossible to stop Game and Gladiators in Liquid.
Some things are just meant to be, Austin. They will go on until the cycle is broken or someone breaks the wheel. And so far, no one has been strong enough to do it.
Well, I am hoping that we are going to have a fantastic grand finals ahead. Tundra certainly gave us one hell of a performance, though. They are going to exit out of third place. Game and Gladiators, though, I mean, the grit on these guys, how they managed to do it year after year like this. They have a grand final appearance ahead of them, and we can talk to what that means to them up on the main stage.
Game Gladiators will be your back-to-back TI Grand Finalists. And playing in front of his home crowd, we have Ace. I mean, the nerves, the tension, how was that playing one of the best games in TI history in front of the home crowd here?
Yeah, I'm a little bit bamboozled right now.
A little bit bamboozled. All right, well, let's break it down a little bit. I mean, what's the communication like? You know, you're trying to go for the base. You keep on trying. They keep defending. They keep on fighting. Who's keeping the calm in the team?
I mean, it was definitely more intense than usual, but I'm like kind of proud of my team because I feel like it's not like super screamy or like full panic. Like we're still like keeping it together and making like good decisions.
Absolutely, good decisions were made for sure. I mean, you played against this team 2 days ago. How did this series compare to that one?
I think they adapted well to our first series. Like they put up a fight like numerous times here. I felt like we out in this game. You know, like you get the fault sometimes. And like this series was just crazy. One of the biggest, almost crazy series in my career, probably.
Absolutely. I mean, we loved it though. We absolutely loved it. What a game from you and both of them. Obviously, Tundra now eliminated. Do you have anything to say to them now you've taken them out of the tournament after such an incredible game together?
Wait, do I have anything to say to who?
Tundra.
Oh, to Tundra. You guys played really well. Like, I think you guys are just amazing team. Like, you almost got us. Like, it could have gone either way. Like, yeah, sorry boys, but well played.
Well played indeed. A round of applause for Tundra, of course. Now, I do want to ask you about something in that game. Throughout the tournament, in fact, you've been spamming a certain voice line, school. What does it mean?
School! I think people know what it means.
All right, well, find a day in an Arsenal, I guess. Finally, now you move into the grand finals versus Team Liquid. What do you think is going to happen?
History always repeats itself.
The 3-0 prediction then?
3-0, we'll see. Let's make it a bit more entertaining.
I don't know. I'm not sure it can get more entertaining than that. Ace, final word for the crowd here before you go and take a break and head to the grand finals.
Thank you guys so much. Like, it's fucking amazing. Like, also all my friends and family here. Like, this is like a one-time thing. First for me. Like, it's just different. It's like, thank you all.
Thank you all so much, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Ace and Gaming Gladiators as we'll send it back to the panel.
Some great words from Ace there. He talked about how maybe for the grand finals, they want to make it entertaining for the crowd. Well, this game number 3, our first game number 3 on the main stage was so entertaining. It felt like it was all over at one point, Jenkins, and it was just going to be Gaming Gladiators. And then all of a sudden, Tundra, they're back in it.
I think Ace is the perfect guy to do that interview. He represents his entire team. He was always there for them. He's always saving them. He's got the auras. He's got the Underlord portals in. This guy looks like the best Underlord on the entire planet. The way that the team plays around him, they have so much trust that he will always be there in the perfect position, and he is. And until the very end of that game, 70 minutes in, he was still there.
Yeah. Look, we can't overlook the efforts that Tundra put into this series, into their run here in the tournament, but also that game number 3. Unfortunately, they will be exiting out of TI13 here, but third place, a phenomenal feat, and we're going to head on down to Purian with one of their players.
Thanks, Nat. I am here with Whitemon. First of all, I think it's safe to say that was, without doubt, the best series of the tournament so far. I know you guys didn't come out on top, but you must be proud of how you played.
Yeah, I think we kind of proud of ourselves because we have a sub-star for stand-in also. We're not like full roster, and we make it to top 3. But I'm just feel sorry that we cannot make top 3 times TI champion. Sorry, guys.
Well, you guys definitely tried your best. Talking about Saxon as a stand-in, how good is this guy that he's come in as a stand-in, as you said, and you guys have managed to make top 3? That's incredible.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player. We only have like 1 week practice before TI, and we make it like top 3. I think he's really good.
Absolutely. Speaking of really good, a lot of the other players I spoke to here said that Pure on your team was the best player in the tournament. How good is this kid?
Yeah, I think for me, even we have like top 3, but I think Pure is the best carry because, you know, he's carrying all the games, he make all the shot calls, he make, like, I don't know, he's just incredible.
So what are you guys hoping to do when you come back next season? You're going to win TI next year?
Hopefully.
Fair enough. All right, now you've entertained us all, and I'd love it if you could just finish by having a few words for the fans who supported you throughout this season, but especially at this TI.
What, sorry?
Some words for the fans.
Some what?
Like say some nice things to the fans, like thank you and stuff.
Okay. Thank you for the fans and for friends and family, anything, like, thank you for supporting us and cheering us. Sorry to make you disappointed, but we'll try our best.
Well, you guys were phenomenal. Big round of applause for Tundra. Whitemon, thank you so much. Back to the panel.
Let me tell you, that applause is not for disappointment at all. Whitemon should definitely be proud of not only his team and their placement here, but also for himself being the first ever Indonesian player to be able to podium at an international. It only took 13 of them, but he was up there. He was making space for his team. He was crucial in all 3 games as well. And it's a phenomenal feat and a phenomenal way to go out. It's just so entertaining, Sind. I don't think I can say it enough.
No, that was a crazy game for multiple reasons. I kind of thought that game was going to finish around 35 minutes, but a couple of things went back and forth. And honestly, for the side of Tundra, I think the most impressive thing about this game was you could tell how crisp the communication was at all stages of all fights. Like, just good understanding of who's going in when. They were playing multiple saves. You're going to see that in basically every single highlight that we're going to be showing is that there's the Slark Depth Shroud, there's the Shadow Demon Disruption, and there's the Tusk Snowball, which makes it difficult for Gaimin to approach these fights consistently because there's going to be so much variance in every single fight that they have to play around. But ultimately, they finally did manage to break through and win their first game past 40 minutes of the entire tournament. I believe you pointed that out when we were talking about it, Fear, that Gaimin just don't win late.
Well, they haven't won past 40 minutes, but they're 1-0 past 60 minutes, so there is that. I do think Tundra, they played a really good game. I think the supports were a pivotal part for this. There was tons of saves back and forth. The only downside is, like, it did feel like Ramses was a little not comfortable on this Doombringer. He didn't have the best net worth in this game. The initiations weren't as good as when he plays the Mars or the Sand King, but it was still good enough to get this stage of the game. They played their hearts out. This Slark was a hero that we haven't really seen much in this tournament, if at all, but it still in the late game looked pretty good. So hats off to Tundra. They tried their best, and this was a hell of a game 3.
Yeah, Pure played really well, but honestly, to me, the MVPs of that final game were Celery and Tofu. There were some fights where Celery was just an absolute turret, dishing out damage, also using the Hurricane Pike to save people from the Slark. It was amazing gameplay, extremely crisp, high mechanical skill. Tofu was jumping on the Slark to keep vision of him so he can't heal, so that way Celery can kill him with his impetus, like the amount of mechanical skill that was in that game, you could study this thing for a week straight and still not pick up on all the little intricacies of what Gaiman did, and Tundra.
Yeah, I mean the net worth of Celery to his offlaner in Ace there on the Underlord was only about 1,000, but at some points during the game sin, he was actually above both offlaners in net worth. Like when we say this Enchantress carried, she really didn't. It reflected in the items and the damage in the net worth.
Yeah, I think there was one point where she actually eclipsed the combined enemy supports, which I think is very rare in this tournament that a support gets that rich, so that's one thing. But it's also, I think it's extremely important for Gaiman's ability to win this game that I would say this was a game where Dyrachyo made a couple of really crucial mistakes that made this game a lot harder for them than it perhaps could have been. So it was very important for them that they had multiple heroes that could get in there and dish out that damage and kind of, you know, play off each other to clutch it out.
Yeah, they're going to have a break, and maybe there are things that they look at. Maybe it's not really, but something that we get to look back on is who made the final call for that final push to win a game number 3 on Gaming Gladiators.
Go from here. Yeah,
Go gate, go gate, go gate. They are not
okay,
ready.
I'm
Go
going
gate
right now. Go, go, go.
Right click, BKB and hit it.
Hit it, hit it.
Wow.
Let's go!
Yeah, bro.
Just BKB and hit it. That's it. That's how you're going to close out a game that goes almost 70 minutes there.
I like how he had to remind his team to just press your BKB.
Press
just
the
hit it.
abilities, please. Press it.
That was for Dyrachyo, I'm sure.
Just make sure you press your BKB. That's the only thing that would stop us from winning this if you don't get that button off. They all got it off. They hit the throne. There was no cliff. It was a good chalk off.
There was also a really funny contrast in the clip of that with Quinn just popping off and Celery was just total stoneface. He's like, thank God we won this. I think he was very relieved more than anything on his edge there. He was stone focused the whole game and paid off.
Yeah, he did as much as he could. I think he was ready to wash his hands of that game.
Well, that's the thing. They thought that they were going to be able to close out, what, 20, 30 minutes before that,
Yeah.
if not earlier. So I do think that you're either going to have one of two reactions. You're going to be at the highest you've ever felt, and now you're going to bring down your emotions, or your Celery, and you realize that the job's only a little bit done. You still have the grand finals. They were there last year. They only got second place. I say only. Obviously, out of 18 teams last year and then 16 this year, that's a massive accomplishment for themselves, but they don't want to turn this into a potential curse for themselves, Jenkins. They don't want second place over and over and over again.
No, they don't. That would be a pretty miserable curse, I would say. But, you know, on the flip side, it kind of feels like it would be deserved because they've done it to Liquid. But I think that Gaiman needs to spend some time studying those replays. I think they got dismantled by Liquid. They were able to match Gaiman's pace, but then they also picked the Visage and the Doom and these, like, gold-generating heroes.
Yeah.
So the fights were kind of going 50-50, but then Liquid was getting a little bit more of an advantage. Also, there was the Revenant's Brute Windrunner. There was some new tech that Liquid was doing. There was some picks on Gaiman's side. There's a lot that they can definitely improve on for that grand finals, and I think it will be very competitive.
Yeah, look, that's still down the track. We've got a lot of time between now and then. And to help fill us in with a little bit of that time is we have so much content for you guys. Trust me, if you're in the arena or if you're watching on stream, you don't want to go anywhere. We're going to start off with a very enjoyable, maybe, content piece from Jenkins.
Well, heading back to the base now, a little bit of a lull in the action as we get set to go in this one.
And Falcons have just used their glyph. It's going to be a while before they have that again.
Huh. Why would they do that?
Oh, what are you doing?
Just watching replays.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice something. Okay, so glyph. Makes your towers invincible, okay?
Wait lang ha, kaya merong ads para hindi pa tayo makopyright. Ayan. Maya lang. Mute mo na saglit kasi may ads sila eh. Makopyright tayo sa music. So maganda ang kinalabasan kanina. Intermission.
I noticed that, like, in a replay the other day, there's like a...
Wait lang ha. Eh, meron ang music sila. Bawal ang intermission.
Uncover the mystery.
Why are you obsessing over this? It's just a glyph.
You don't understand.
May music, may background, makapiright tayo. Kapoy na, makapoy na makapiright. Okay, maya-maya lang tayo maglagay ng mute pan sa kanilang games para hindi tayo makapiright. Makapoy na. Sakit sa ulo pag copyright. Ayan. Yan, salamat sa mga viewers na dumadaan. Thank you so much. We have 47 viewers so far. And now staying is 3. So salamat sa inyong suporta at pag-uunawa. Bow. Alright, maya-maya lang guys ha. Maya-maya lang. Kasi may copyright tayo, makapiright.
They're in the pubs!
Makapiright ang music.
Did you enjoy making that one, Jenkins?
How could you have kept that a secret from... I was losing my mind!
Well, look, I know we've worked 11 days pretty much straight together, but sometimes you need your own secrets.
Why would you waste Glyph? Why? We lost that pub. I doubled down!
That's why. That is exactly why. We've always talked about this inflated MMR going around, and Jenkins, it's just not deserved. Traumatized.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Look, it was a very beautiful content piece, though. I know a lot of you guys are working hard in the back end. I mean, maybe a fun little mini game everyone can do is count how many special appearances were in that one content piece alone. We had a lot of the talent lineup getting in on this, and I know Slacks and Tsunami worked really hard behind the scenes as well for it. Did you enjoy it, Fia? As like maybe the only person who wasn't in it?
You don't know that.
Oh, that's true. I don't know that actually.
Don't make assumptions there. I was in the darkness.
Yeah, you were the
glyph.
He was the glyph.
He tried to lose TI5. He was glyphing all the time.
Yeah.
He's president on Glyph.
Yeah. Was it TI5 you won? I can't remember.
I don't remember
That was so long
it was
ago.
like at least 15 years ago.
At least, minimum.
That was really great though. I enjoyed that. That was really fun.
Yeah. Something that I haven't yet mentioned, and maybe people at home are looking at, is why exactly you're on the panel right now, Sin, because we've had...
I was wondering the same.
Oh, whoa, okay. Apparently my panel members are also wondering. Well, I mean, it's a TI for you in your home country. I mean, how special does that feel to have so many of your countrymen in the crowd right now?
That's awesome. I didn't, how to say, this is something that I didn't think would ever happen. I think it was the same thing that Crid was saying in an interview some days ago, that it just, you know, I remember we were at a different event, and we were out having dinner, and I just checked my phone randomly, and there's like, TI's in Copenhagen. Like, okay.
You know,
whoa. Just out of nowhere, there was no clues or anything. It just came as a complete surprise, and I was just blown away, and I was super excited, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel like the arena and the fans have been awesome. I feel like the set design has been great, so I've been really happy with it.
Oh, well, that's good. And you've...
person to have attended every single international. Cinderin.
I've been playing Dota my entire life. It was very challenging a lot of the time. There were some serious downs, but there were also some big ups. I have overall a lot of great memories from all the years of playing this game, even right from the beginning.
Di pwede may music. Mute lang ha. May bawal may music. Me gusta ese arte.
hopefully having a good time.
I remember watching the Wild Honey Badgers at DreamHack 2011, DreamHack Winter, and I remember seeing your Night Stalker there, and that's part of the reason what made me fall in love with esports as a whole.
From the first moment I saw you play, I knew you'd make an excellent caster. It's been a pleasure to work so many TIs alongside you, and I'm looking forward to hopefully many more years at the International, getting to spend time and enjoy your witty and humorous and very intelligent casting.
Big fan, Synderen. I always tell you this, but I mean it unironically. Before I worked as a talent, you were my favorite caster by far.
Known you for over 10 years. We've played together, we've worked together. We have probably like a 10% win rate in competitive games together, which is pretty sad, but you know what? Working with you has always been a pleasure, and I look forward to being able to do that always, man. Love you.
Congratulations, Synderen, on an amazing career so far. I wouldn't be here without you. I am glad and very privileged to call you one of my best friends, so thanks, buddy.
Aww. A nice little trip down memory. I can't look at Sin. I'm so emotional right now, but you get to add a TI in your home country to memories too. I'm actually tearing up. Yeah, someone else is going to have to take hosting duties now.
Here, take it from here.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, sure. I mean, I have memories of Synderen. I remember all your DreamHack.
I will say, I also have a 10% win rate with you. It's not good. I enjoy every moment of it, though.
I think I have a 100% win rate against you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say win. I was excited for a moment. Oh, no.
Well, I have 100% enjoyment in listening to you cast this.
Yes!
So, yeah, let's go. And I'm sure everyone
one.
out there in the arena has also really enjoyed it as well. But look, I'll give you guys some final words because we do have to keep this show going. There's still a lot more content between now and the grand finals, but it is going to be The Last of Us for a very short time. So starting down the line, Jenkins, if you want to give some thoughts going into maybe the grand final or even just about the content we got to watch.
Sure. Well, I'm excited to see Game and Liquid, unironically, as Mira said. Love this game, love this community, love the crowd. It's been amazing. The energy has been fucking phenomenal. I'm glad we got to see 3 games, and I hope we get to see 5 more.
Yeah, you might have dropped the F-bomb a little early, because I actually just heard Slacks has got a little extra content for us. So, yeah, we're going to have to go down there and then come back.
Yes, thank you very much. We are outside right now. It's my first time being outside in months. It's horrible out here. Can't wait to go back inside with some also outside friends. What are you doing out here?
Stretching my legs. We're sitting in the front, so we're dying.
Oh, yeah. You guys get the full experience. Can you hear anything?
I can hear everything.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Well, great. So, favorite part of the event so far?
Favorite part? The games, obviously, and the Crimson Treasures are very good.
Sure, the Crimsons? Those at home, so sorry. How many Crimsons we got so far?
3.
3? There's 0, you son of...
Hello?
Why not?
I don't know, they're on hold.
Okay, don't tell about your economic policies here, all right? Just open them, right? That's the best thing you can do. How you doing? Who do you think's gonna win?
Ooh, I want Liquid to win.
Liquid?
I want Liquid.
Oh, okay.
Liquid Tundra.
Liquid Tundra, that's quite a dream here. GG, you don't want to see the how about you, GG Liquid Finals?
Liquid.
Okay, come on, all right. Oh, is it all about the Thompson? Is that what we're after?
Thompson.
The 3 times?
3 times Thompson, yeah.
What are you excited about?
I'm excited about all the game.
Oh, yes. Do you think Thompson's going to do the 3-0?
I hope Liquid wins.
Liquid, there we go. Fine. Different opinion. These guys are just, bat chesting over here. We got a real Dota fan here. Who's your favorite hero?
Lone Druids.
Druid. Can you tell me why? I'll just give you the mic. You're too tall for me to put my hand around.
I mean, I like Lone Druid because he has a strong bond to the companion, like I have to my companion. So I'm going to show you my true form now, and I want to ask you to marry me.
Congratulations! Gotta get that happy audio. Oh my goodness, well, you guys have a wonderful moment. Congratulations. Oh, kissing, take it easy. There's a family product here. But congratulations, hope you enjoy. Oh, okay, sorry. You guys are gonna have the best life together. You guys have your moment. We love you. We'll go back to you. Congratulations, thank you. Woo! Give it up one more time. Woo!
Dota players stay winning is what I will say there. There's going to be one team walking away with an Aegis, but that one couple right there walking away having a fantastic memory here of her saying yes at TI 13 in Copenhagen.
We'll be having a podium finish too.
They will be having a That is such a fear one-liner right there. All right, now I'm not getting ahead of myself. Jacobs, you've already said your final words for this. I'll go to Fear, then I'll go to Sin, and then we've got some more things coming up. Sophia, some of the final words for you before we do get some more content.
Yeah, I mean, this international has been absolutely amazing. The crowd, as usual, has been on fire. So I've been really blessed to be able to be part of every single international so far in one way or another. As a player, as a coach, as a spectator, I've pretty much done it all. So like every single time it gets more and more special for me, and I absolutely love this event.
Yeah. And then of course yourself, Sin.
I just want to say, be as loud as you guys possibly can for the entirety of the grand finals. Let's make this an incredible atmosphere for the players. It's a huge moment for them. It's a huge moment for you guys. So bring everything you can to the final hours that are coming up soon.
Yes, I love it. They're already cheering down there. You guys are going to have to keep cheering. Maybe try and save a little bit of your voice for that grand finals, but I know there's going to be a lot of round of applause as we head on down to the stage and begin our cosplay competition.
That's right, it's time for another time-honored tradition here at the International. Welcome everyone to the International 2024 Cosplay Contest, sponsored by SteelSeries, because we have got a lot of contestants and a lot of amazing art to show, and it was art that I thankfully got some feedback from thanks to our judges. Could we start out with you, Snapfire? I love the look. Could you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Margito. I'm a Swedish cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for 18 years, hence the grindy look today. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here and have this event finally in Scandinavia.
Right on. With age comes a wisdom then. And Marcy, how about you? You mind introducing yourself?
Hello everyone, I am Maruna. I've been cosplaying from Dota for 10 years. However, this is only my second TI, so I'm super excited to be here.
Amazing stuff. And last but not least, Ember Spirit, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Reeps. As a cosplayer, I go as Reapg Naked, but Reeps is fine for now. I don't really have a lot to add to my fellow judges, so let's just get the show going.
Without further ado, let's do it then. Shall we start going through each of our contestants? We had many submissions, but we narrowed it down to just 10. So, starting off the thing, let's take it off with Scouse and Spouse, not as Crystal Maiden, but as Crystal Mate.
All right, exactly. All right, exactly. As you can see, this is the Crystal Mate. He's from Down Under, and as you can see, he's sporting a great utility belt with all the important items that he needs to keep the team going.
That's a second persona if I've ever seen one. Next up, let's get Mozart in Tidehunter.
So the thing that's special about this cosplay, you all know it, you've all seen it all weekend. Give it up for him. He made this together with his mom, who knows nothing about Dota, who knows nothing about cosplay. I hope she's watching. Hi, Mom. Great job.
She knows about art, though, clearly. After that, we've got catastrophic cosplays with the Monkey King.
An important skill in cosplay is to figure out what materials to use and what works for what. And in this case, the case of the Monkey King of Catastrophic, well, her tail, can you guess it? It's a pool noodle.
Look at that flexibility on that, the creativity. That's what's needed when playing Monkey King and when cosplaying Monkey King. Next up, we got Pei on Marcy.
All right, so this is actually the cosplayer's favorite hero, and she actually does boxing for real, in real life.
Yeah, those animations come from her, not from the game. Following that, we've got Tanacht on a Juggernaut.
This cosplayer made his own muscle suit for this. Making a muscle suit is a difficult process. It starts by wrapping yourself in tape entirely and ends by covering things in latex.
I love the Arcana there. After that, we've got Chiyu Neko as Dawnbreaker.
We have something special here. That is an NA representative. And bringing that costume all the way over here is not easy. So that hammer can actually fall apart in several pieces. However, that's where the convenience ends. It's damned heavy. I tried.
That's the kind of strength you need. Next up, Braun Baron as Dark Willow.
This is the cosplayer's favorite hero as well, and she's been playing 1,700 games as this hero. And just look at those beautiful wings and the light that comes through them.
You need that kind of experience to pull off a cosplay like that. Next up, Peachy X Bell as Enchantress.
This Enchantress's rear end is made from PVC pipes and insulation foam, and the back legs move as well, which is done by a smart construction with fishing line.
Look at the elaborate nature of it. The legs are hanging on. It looks amazing. Next up, Marzaus as Invoker.
Good things sometimes take time. Have your moment. Give it up.
He's invoking right now.
I really hope these lights show up on camera in the stage lights. But good things take a while, so he's been on this for 5 years, because finally finishing it took a TI that actually happened in Europe.
This is the Magnus Apex right there. And last, but certainly not least, we've got Vicky Kujikawa as a Vengeful Spirit.
This cosplayer has fully articulated wings, and as you can see, she has the bird claws that stands to create the bird-like features of the character. And also look at all the different iridescent colors of the costume. She had so many different colors to get it all together.
And this Arcana just came out and she put this together. What an incredible showcase that we have. But now we've shown you the contestants. It's time to hand out some awards. So let's take it from the top. Our first award out of 4 is a Judge's Choice. You mind explaining what Judge's Choice means?
So the Judge's Choice Award is given to a cosplayer who nails both the presence of the hero they're portraying, but also has awesome craftsmanship.
Well, then do you mind telling me who won the Judge's Choice?
Can we get a little drum roll from the audience?
Royal Arena.
The Judge's Choice goes to Tanak as Juggernaut.
A well-deserved victory and the choice of many carries as well. Next up, we've got Biggest Transformation. What is that involved?
Well, it might surprise some of you, but cosplayers are actual, real, living, breathing people.
What?
Yeah, it's quite different from video games. So to translate the one thing into another is not always easy. We deal with different challenges than, game designers. And yeah, doing that is a real skill, and it gets an award here.
Turning 3D into a cosplay. Royal Arena, could we get another drum roll for Biggest Transformation?
The winner is Peachy X Bell Enchantress.
Amazing work. I thought for sure she had 4 legs. Next up, Best Technique.
Okay, so for this award, we have really looked at the craftsmanship of the costume. We had the pre-judging on Thursday. That means that we have looked at all the costumes individually and looked at all the seams and all the props and their foam work and everything. So basically, it's how they tackle the costume and the quality of their work.
The precision, I love to see it. Royal Arena, you know the drill.
All right, so Best Techniques goes to Vicky Kujikawa as Vengeful Spirit.
A well-deserved victory, and I can imagine the time frame needed to put this together in time for TI. And now it's time for the Best in Show. This is the champion of the cosplay contest. I don't think it needs any further explanation, but Royal Arena, I want drum roll, I want woos, I want cheers, I want claps.
The winner of the International Cosplay Contest sponsored by SteelSeries is the one, the only, Marzaus as Invoker!
Crusher, the Aegis. This is a Miracles Invoker in the flesh right here in Royal Arena. What a well-deserved victory. But all of the competitors deserve a round of applause. Royal Arena, please show some love to the incredible craftsmanship. Love to see it. And judges, thank you so much for joining me and giving your expertise. But we're not done yet. I know you guys are waiting for grand finals, but there have been other community-oriented things going on. So I'm going to pass it over to Slacks with the short film contest.
That is right, Tsunami. Indeed, indeed. The International is a celebration of the greatest Dota in the world and the best esports players out there. But it's also a celebration of us, the creative noobs out there that are doing some fun things in the community. Your passion, your love for this game, and here is where we celebrate it. So that is why I am so honored to go through our short film contest winners this year. But before we go to those top three, I did want to say thank you for everyone who's put in time, effort, and energy, passion, and love into this game and into this contest. Please, a round of applause for them. Quite a long one indeed, because they deserve it. All right, everybody out there, it's about time that we get down to it. So, in third place this year of our short film contest, I know if you're like me, you have no idea how Invoker works. So, absolutely violent and disgusting. I love it. Thank you very much. Well, if you are anything like me, of course, you do know what it's like to play support, my friends. Always helping those carries, those offlaners, those pause fours that are also pretending that they're supports. What can you do? But this video will help you realize what it's like to be a support and how it feels to finally get your hands on that hoodwink. This one is called Support. Watching hoodwinks die. Wonderful, wonderful indeed. But the time now has come for us to find out who won first place at this year's short film contest. Let's take a peek. Our first place winner. Yeah, makes sense. You ever wonder what it's like to be Tinker? Hey, you guys ever got bloodlust and you just keep chasing someone and you just want to take them out at any cost? Well, this video is just about that. Thank you so much and congratulations to our winners out there. Incredible submissions here this year. But you know, on the topic of videos, it wouldn't really feel like a TI unless we had a little video that we wanted to share with you ourselves. That's right, my friends. So don't go anywhere and let's take a look.
New hero.
Long have we waited and Bird Samurai is finally activated. Kaz is coming with Crownfall Act 4 after TI, but I need a quick recap. So I found a Crownfall expert, would you say, or no?
Just a casual player.
Okay. Give me a quick recap. How have we ended up here? Who is this dude?
He's the revolution that is gonna help the queen, the righteous queen.
Well, it sounds like you're taking sides now.
I don't know. Killing your sister is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Okay, the quicker back. Okay. So basically, Skyrat tried to make Vengeful Spirit to live again.
Okay.
Then they found the goddess Skria, which gave them their powers. So they are trying to move around different places to find allies in order to fight a war.
And that's where she comes in, right? Crystal Maiden. Tell me, I'm assuming your favorite hero is Crystal Maiden.
well, you're right.
Okay. And when's the last time that you dipped your ideas out of going Crystal Maiden? Would you be down to explore, I don't know, maybe he's a hero, maybe he's a carry, maybe he's an offlane, who knows? What are you hoping for?
Oh, definitely. I would be open to try out something new. Definitely, yes.
Would you cosplay it ever?
Oh, I think that would be a very interesting cosplay, to be honest. But definitely better than my sister, Lena.
See, there we go. I see a lot of sister tensions are a common theme in Crown Fall. And I am very, very curious. It'll be coming out after TI, Crown Fall Act 4. Everyone has been eagerly awaiting. I know Bird Samurai has been rumored for ages. It's finally happening. I can't wait for it. And I was wondering, maybe even people raising their hands. Slacks, what are you doing here?
Hi, I'm also here to talk about lore. I'm very excited about the hero. Hello. You been playing Crown Fall?
No.
You been playing Dota?
Yes, of course.
Would you play a hero that is a samurai as skilled as Juggernaut?
It depends. I only play support.
You are the worst interview. Are you at least excited about the new hero?
Of course!
There
That's
we
what I
go.
like to hear!
He
And most
volunteered
of
for
all,
that. He wanted to do that. Go.
most of all, Royal Arena, are you excited for Grand Finals? Then let's get into it.
Aegis of Champions. It challenges the expectations of greatness, daring the finest Dota teams in the world to rise always higher and earn a place beyond the very best. It reveals new arenas for artistry, demanding the skills, the sacrifice, the imagination to transcend mere excellence. It grants a life everlasting, promising a page in the chronicles of history that time cannot erase. 16 teams began this quest in Copenhagen. Only 2 contenders remain. They meet at the precipice with the fate of the Aegis at last in play. One team must fall, their dreams of triumph broken, to watch the other rise into a hallowed pantheon of honor and fame. This is the final proving ground. This is the Grand Colosseum, where legends forge undying names. 2 teams compete here for ultimate glory. Only one can seize immortality. Who will emerge victorious? The battle begins.
Welcome to the grand finals of the International 2024, and we have got 2 top-tier teams that are going to battle it out in a best-of-5